The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of the Barbers Chat Network, our great partners at H&B Media, or any of our media peers. We're just five idiots who love sports and love to talk shit. If you're offended easily, then this show isn't for you. And for those who aren't offended easily, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Remember, it's only entertainment.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Before we start the show, we want to thank our sponsors, Pillars. Pillars is the best clothing line in the Chicagoland area. If you're looking for a dope hoodie, a sweatsuit, shirts, shoes, or even stuff for your kids, Pillars is where you should go. You can visit any of their 4 store locations in the Chicagoland area or visit pillarsclub.co and order online. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You. I am your guy, Scott. You know where to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at BarbChairScott. You can follow the Barbers Chair Network at BarbersChairNet on Twitter and IG. And of course, you can follow our partners, H&B Media at H&B Media TV on Twitter and at H&B Media on Instagram. And also get in tune with our sponsors, Pillars. You can visit pillarsclub.co right now to get all your different clothes, shoes, stuff for your kids that you want to get, or visit any of their 4 store locations in the Chicagoland area. That's East 87th Street, which they will be at only for a couple more days before they relocate. We'll have that information for y'all. Of course, you can go to Chicago Ridge Mall and, of course, Orland Park Mall and the West Loop store on Madison, man. It is Friday, February 23rd, 2024. We've got a packed show for y'all today. I will bring in my co-host, Courtney and J.R. Vang in just a minute. Of course, we got the homie Nick Hamilton joining us in a minute, and we've also got the guys from Random Acts of Podcast that will be joining us here in this episode. Got a lot of stuff to get on today. Dante will not be here today, so I am doing 2 things at once. I am producing and I am hosting all at once. Dante is at a wedding out there in Florida. Shout out my guy, JB. Salute to you. Congratulations on your marriage, my guy. And, of course, Mikey will be back full time on Monday, so we're going to get into that. So we're going to start with my sound off, man. And for my sound off, man, I don't feel like I've ranted on anybody as much as I've ranted on this dude in the 2.5 years that I've been doing this show. And that is one, Jerry Reinsdorf. I don't use the word hate because hate, I don't really hate people. I feel like hate takes a lot of work to do. But I hate Jerry Reinsdorf. I hate what he has done to the 2 teams that I loved rooting for. The Chicago Bulls, which introduced me to sports, introduced me into everything that I've been obsessed with, and the Chicago White Sox. With the Chicago White Sox, as you clearly see with this hat on my head, I am now rooting for the Dodgers now. And I will not feel any shame for that. One, I've been a Los Angeles resident for 10 years, so I feel like I've passed the bandwagon time frame to get past. And number 2, if you're a Chicago White Sox fan, I don't understand how you can continue to support what he's doing when it's just a blatant slap in the face. The Bulls are one thing. The Bulls are one thing, and I will never stop rooting for the Bulls. Now, do I watch the Bulls? Hell no. I've watched maybe 2 Bulls games this entire season. I've maybe watched 7 in the last 2 combined. I treat them like the little kid in the corner who, playing with toys or something. I give the Bulls no attention, but just because they won so many times when I was a kid, I give them some grace, even though it's a shit show that they're running over there, and we done been over that countless times. But what they're doing with the White Sox right now, and also with the whole new trying to get a stadium thing. First of all, there's nothing wrong with Guaranteed Rate Field or Comiskey Park or US Sailor Field, whatever you want to call it. It is still one of the best parks in Major League Baseball right now, very good conditions, and you're trying to move just because you're gonna, you're trying to get it before the Bears, just in case the Arlington Heights project falls through. And these are the quotes that really piss me off. If you're, as a guy who used to root for the White Sox, and for anybody who is a White Sox fan, he said he gave 3 major reasons for why the team can't succeed in that area anymore. Basically saying the economics of baseball have completely changed, and top bill players such as Shohei Ohtani are getting as much as $700 million a year. And at that location we're at now, we cannot generate the revenue needed to pay those salaries, which is bullshit, number one, because it's not about the stadium. It's about the play on the field. You completely botched a rebuild that was supposed to lead you at least to be in contention for multiple World Series championships. All you got out of that was a wild card series during the COVID year, which you lost, and a series against the Houston Astros of 2021, which you lost, and honestly should have got swept in if it wasn't for that miraculous Lurie Garcia home run in Game 3. And then he goes on and says that basically the reason that they should give him $1 billion is because he's going to die soon, and that he just doesn't know what it'll mean for other billionaires when he's gone. He said nothing about it, that I'm about to turn 88. When I'm gone, my son, Michael Reinsdorf, the president of Chicago Bulls, which the family also owns, will have an obligation to do what's best for other investors in the Sox. That likely means putting the team out for sale. This team will be more out of town. Now, we're going to get more in depth in this in a local hour later, me and Bang. But when you lose the White Sox, when you move the White Sox from the South Side, you lose their identity. Because let's be very clear. This team can go to Nashville. Nobody's going to give a fuck about them out there either. Chicago's still a Cubs town. And if anything, you had the pride of being repped by an area in the South Side. With that, without being there anymore, you don't have that. And at that point, you're nothing because you don't even play well to fucking begin with. So my sound off is that Jerry Reinsdorf needs to just go away. I personally will not be rooting for this team until either, ownership changes or, something else happens. And so that's just pretty much where I'm at it. That's my sound off about Jerry Reinsdorf, man. We're going to bring in the rest of the crew now. We got Courtney and JR Bang. Courtney, Bang, what is going on?
Doing good, man. Feeling good. It's Friday. We gonna talk about some shit today that's gonna irritate the hell out of me.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I can't wait to sound off like you just did.
All right. Courtney, what are you doing? And we're going to bring in our guests real quick. What's going on?
Oh, man, not much. Weather is beautiful here in Dallas, Texas. We got baseball on. So, yeah, I'm thriving.
I'm watching baseball. I have the Dodgers and the Padres on the screen right next to me. I'm trying to
expand your horizon.
I'm telling you, listen, I give it until May, and you're going to be asking, oh, my God, Courtney, why didn't he try to get the double play? Oh, I can't wait.
Look, I know baseball. I fell out of love with it. Like, I know the game. I played the game.
I'm here to help you fall back in love with it.
I don't know if that's going to happen, man. But
but
shouts out to Texas, though.
If you're watching Adam Silver's NBA, you can stomach and tolerate Rob Manfred's Major League Baseball.
We're going to bring in our guests now. We're bringing in the one and only Nick Hamilton, man. He is, runs Nitecast Media, one of the best media people out here in Los Angeles. Covers the Clippers, covers the Lakers, covers USC football, the Kings, Dodgers, Angels, everybody. Basically, if there's anything media in Los Angeles, this is the guy that you need to get in tune with. Nick, what is going on, my guy?
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing? Thanks for having me.
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. As you know, obviously, we are Chicago Bears fans. I am, part of Chicago Bears media as well. And I know Courtney said today that she wanted us to go and show it out as mentioning Caleb Williams. Unfortunately for her, that is not going to happen. As somebody who has seen, everything that's been going on in his 2 years at USC, I know us, Bears fans, Bears media, we have a specific view on him. Some I think have him too high. Some I think act like he's too low. In your opinion, what do you think about Caleb Williams, his stock, his ceiling, and just really all the hype that we've been seeing about him, heading into this draft?
I think what you get out of Caleb Williams, first and foremost, I think you get a guy that's dedicated to the game of football. I think also, too, a lot of people try to make comparisons to him and Patrick Mahomes. And I think you see a slight bit of ingredient of Patrick Mahomes, but I think you see more Brett Favre out of him, which is not a knock or not a bad thing. I think with Caleb Williams, I think what you have to do is you have to find I think people judge these quarterbacks and say, "Oh, I don't see a whole lot out of this quarterback class." But I think we may be looking at it incorrectly. I think we should look at it as far as where are these quarterbacks going and judge the teams that they have been drafted to. I think if you look at that, I think we have an honest assessment of where these quarterbacks could be, whether it be Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., whoever else that's in the NFL quarterback class. So I think ultimately when you look at Caleb Williams, I think you're going to get a guy that can definitely be a star. I think you got a guy that could be the face of your franchise, whether that be with Chicago, whether it be with Washington or whoever. But I don't think he drops past 5, to be quite honest with you. I think there are a lot of teams that are in need of a quarterback. I mean, they are on life support of a quarterback. So I think this is the right time if you're going to get a quarterback, whether it be Caleb Williams or whoever, you're going to get a quarterback that's definitely going to be on point like a decimal and making sure that, this is a guy you want to represent your franchise for the next 5 to 10 years, possibly.
And, one thing about Caleb, too, as from I watched like pretty much every USC game he played this year. And, there was a lot of things made up about him, at the end of the game, he cried earlier this season. You got this thing in Chicago where, Chicago media, they'll hop on you, man. Like we see what they're doing right now with Justin Fields, and he's doing that. Do you think that he's a guy who will be able to handle the stress of being Chicago Bears quarterback when it's such a quarterback starved market?
Yeah, I think he can. I think people make much to do about nothing. I mean, we can't talk about mental health and say, okay, we want guys to be able to express themselves and then get mad or get perturbed at the fact that he is expressing himself. The fact that man puts his blood, sweat, and tears on that field. He left it all out there, which is why he was crying the way he was. He wasn't crying because, oh my God, I want to curl up. He was crying probably out of frustration. He was crying because he lost. He was just upset, and some people express their emotions differently. So again, I think I don't put that too much as a knock on Caleb Williams. I think that's what that kind of guy you want. You want a guy that wants to, eat, drinks, and bleed out football. You want a guy that wants to leave it all out there and has that type of passion that, hey, man, I'm here to win. I don't like losing. Even if we do lose, I want to win. I want to win at all costs. And I think that's what you may get out of Caleb Williams. I think, like I said, people put too much emphasis on that. And I think it pretty much tried to overshadow what he put, the yards, the numbers that he put up on the field and the leadership that he displays as well.
I think like 2 years ago, the 2022 season, of course, he won the Heisman Trophy. This year was kind of a quote unquote down year. I think a lot of it had to do more with, the offensive line not really being that good, not a lack of options. The defense was god awful. What would you say to people who say, oh, he's not that good? I don't think that he's somebody who should be praised as much. I think there's a difference between hype and actual reality. And like, in your opinion, what do you think, like, his ceiling is? I know Mahomes is like an alien and it's like the new LeBron, new Jordan thing. What do you think his ceiling is, on a realistic level for him?
Well, for people that think that, first of all, I think their parents are either brother and sister or they just need to get their heads examined. I don't understand how the hell, if you watch Caleb Williams for the last 2 years, especially as you mentioned his Heisman year, all of a sudden his stock is going to drop as if he's running track, as if it's a solo sport. Hello. Last time I checked, this was a team sport. I didn't agree with the head coach as far as some of the decisions that he made, the coaching staff and their decisions that they made. So that had a lot to do with it as well. Again, I'm not absolving Caleb Williams of any type of responsibility, but let's put it in perspective, man. First of all, get your head out of your behind and realize that this is what you're going to get. You're getting a quarterback. You're getting a solid quarterback. Now, if he could sit down for a while, a period of time, let's say maybe until half the season, you might see that generational talent-esque type of performance that you can get out of Caleb Williams, because he can take time to absolve the attitude and the vibe and the energy and the newness of the NFL, because it is quicker, smarter, faster, better than what he's been able to go up against in college, obviously. So I think a lot of these quarterbacks, you're going to see some growing pains. You're going to see, like we saw with C.J. Stroud, the first couple of games, C.J. Stroud had to get his sea legs up under him. But then he finished incredibly well despite missing 2 games, and he was the best offensive player this past season. And I think you could possibly may get that, whether it be Caleb Williams, Drake May, or whoever, depending on the system that they are in. That is a very important fact, is watching the type of system that they are going to be in, where they can flourish and where you get somebody who understands them and doesn't put an enormous amount of responsibility on their plate, which is why I think one reason why Washington hired Cliff Kingsbury, because if Washington is able to draft him, there's some familiarity there because of what he did at USC and connecting with Caleb Williams that way.
Well, I got this one last football question before we go to bang and we move to basketball. So you bring up system, which I think is a great thing to talk about, because even on the Justin Fields thing, we talked about system and how it wasn't the right system. We talked about the Patrick Mahomes and, the Bears were looking at him but didn't go. And we all know Patrick wouldn't have been the Patrick Mahomes he is now with the system that the Bears had. What is like from an outsider's perspective? I think sometimes we get too caught up in the local view of how the Bears are viewed. What's the local perception of the Bears? And like, if Caleb Williams went there, do you think that's a good situation for him, or should he try to not go to Chicago?
I mean, I think it's a Sunday service moment. Stretch your hands forth, reach out, and pray for this young man, because good Lord, if he's going to the Bears and what they've done to Justin Fields, to me, it's just been an absolute tragedy. They've never given that man any type of damn help. Let's be honest. I know you guys have seen it firsthand, but from here in Los Angeles, I mean, just watching Justin Fields and then seeing him kind of get comfortable and start to flourish in the last several games of the season, you can see that there's potential there if he's in the right system with the right coaching. And I hope to God, if they do trade Justin Fields, he goes to a place like the Atlanta Falcons that do have some type of talent there that he can flourish. And sometimes quarterbacks do need a new change of scenery. I mean, I don't give a damn if they kept his coach. Matter of fact, if they don't make the playoffs next year, his coach is fired, because anytime they get rid of the offensive coordinators, the defensive coordinators, and all these other guys, your ass, your key card will not be working the following season. You understand that. Them checks ain't gonna be coming. You will be on Cobra as far as health insurance is concerned. So I hope Justin Fields gets a fresh start, because he's got an enormous amount of criticism. And I just say that some of that isn't warranted, because he's done some things that make you scratch your head and question what the hell were you thinking on that particular play or plays. But also too, I don't think they're giving him a full shot, and I think they put so much responsibility on his shoulders. He had to be the savior of the franchise, and you can't put that type of responsibility on a young man of his caliber. You got to be able to give him some weapons to do with, like we saw with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson 2019 was the MVP. He has done more with less, and now this year Lamar finally got some help and finally got the weapons, some of the weapons that he needed to be able to flourish, which is why he has elevated to a 2-time MVP level. And I think they still have to continue to build on that. But if you're the Chicago Bears, I mean, they look cheap as hell. I mean, I don't know if who owns it. I felt like Donald Sterling or Dean Spanos owns them. I mean, shit. What else can you do with that franchise? I mean, my God, it needs an overhaul.
But damn,
damn. Go ahead, man.
Like, damn, man, you just made me feel bad for being a Bears fan. By comparing, you should
feel bad that you on that narcotic and barely been on that narcotic for quite some time now. It's time for rehab, my brother. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pray for you.
I've been telling y'all to seek help for so long now.
You compared the Bears to Donald Sterling. Shit.
Well, from the cheap standpoint, I'm not calling anybody.
No. Even though if you talk to a black Bears fan, they'll probably be like, "Oh yeah, motherfucker, shit." But yeah, damn. But let's go back to LA. And talk about these Clippers and these Lakers. The Clippers looking strong going into the last 20-some games of the season. Then you got the Lakers, who are currently still around play-in status. But you look at the top end of the West, you have inexperienced teams when it comes to the top of being at the top of the playoffs and possibly going up against an experienced team like the Lakers if it gets to that point. So what is the prospects you believe of both the Clippers and the Lakers going into this playoff hunt?
I think the Clippers have been surprisingly have fared out fairly well, especially after the James Harden trade when they went 0 for 6 after that trade until they were able to figure it out and move the pieces around they needed, moving Russell to the bench. I think that was an improvement. And I think Ty Lue has always, to me, has struck me as a very incredibly sound and intelligent coach. If you give him the pieces to work with, he can definitely put that puzzle together and make it look right. I think also, too, these guys are playing together. I think they all know that the writing is on the wall, that you have to at least get to the NBA Finals. You definitely have to get to the Western Conference Finals, but you damn sure have to get to the NBA Finals. Even if you lose and come up short in 6 or 7 games, at least you got the franchise there, which is something that has never happened in their entire history. I think Paul George is playing at an enormous level. You look at Kawhi Leonard, who's also been playing well. You look at James Harden. You look at a lot of the other guys, Zubac. You look at a lot of the other guys that have been. It's just like a fluidity. And I'm very impressed by the Los Angeles Clippers as far as what they've been able to put together. And I think this team, if they can stay healthy, I think this team definitely can go deep into the playoffs. I think they have a boulder in the manner of the Denver Nuggets because I think Jokic and Kyler Murray and those boys, I think they're just too much. And I picked them to be back-to-back champions, but I think the Clippers can take them to 6 or 7 games in the Western Conference Finals if they also stay healthy, meaning the Denver Nuggets. As far as the Los Angeles Lakers are concerned, I mean, this is a team that's Six Flags. It's up 1 minute, down the next, don't know what the hell's going on. Then you do know what the hell is going on. I mean, there was controversy about, fans talking about firing Darvin Ham when they went to that skid. Then they made the moves, they made the trade, got Dinwiddie, and then they went on and it started playing like a team. Unfortunately, the Golden State Warriors said, "You're in San Francisco now." The Golden State started feeling themselves, and they look like the old Golden State Warriors that we've been accustomed to seeing years prior. So I think there's a team like the Lakers, and like I told people, the Lakers are not going to win any championships. Not this year, not next year, or the year after that. I think LeBron is done winning chips. I think LeBron is about individual accolades, and he's playing at an extremely high level. I have a tremendous amount of respect for LeBron James and how he's been playing at year 20 and 21. But at the same time, I think there's a lot better teams out there. You look at the OKC Thunder with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's in the MVP conversation. I think you talk about inexperienced teams. I think, like I said, you got the Los Angeles Clippers. You got the Denver Nuggets. And there's probably some other sleeper teams out there. Phoenix Suns seem like they're trying to pull it together and figure it out. And when you're in a 7-game series, it's a totally different ballgame than when you're in the regular season. So I think there's going to be some exciting basketball in the Western Conference. I don't expect the Los Angeles Lakers to go deep like they did last year. They got lucky as hell. I know a lot of Laker fans got pissed off at me. I don't give a damn. When I do, you be the first to know. But it is what it is until they saw that juggernaut known as the Denver Nuggets, and they played a real team who had a real bench as well as a real starting five. And you're going to get more teams like that this year when you talk about the Los Angeles Clippers, when you look at the Denver Nuggets, and even the OKC Thunder, and possibly the Phoenix Suns, if, like I said, if they can figure it all out. So it's not going to be an easy road at all.
Oh, Scott, real quick, I feel like this might be a dumb question. And I don't subscribe to any question that's not a dumb question.
Exactly.
So I'm going to ask this dumb question. Do the Lakers have a chance versus the Minnesota Timberwolves or the OKC Thunder if it shakes out to play them in the first round of the playoffs?
They absolutely have a chance. I mean, you got LeBron James, Anthony Davis. And as long as those two stay healthy, you definitely have a chance. I mean, I got a chance just like to pick the winning lottery numbers. I mean, as long as I go to 7-Eleven and play, I got a chance too. But I mean, in all actuality, yeah, they got a chance, definitely. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves learned something last year as well from that play-in game. I think when you got a guy like Ant-Man who's absolutely a flat-out stud, the man is 0 to 100 real quick. He is the catalyst for that team. And I think you got a guy that is growing into his leadership abilities in Ant-Man. I think that the sky could be the limit for the Minnesota Timberwolves. I do think they're a player or so away from actually making a deep playoff run, but I also think there's a lot of potential there. But, sometimes, like they say, potential is like volunteer work. It don't pay no bills. So we got to see when the rubber meets the road, what's going to really happen in that series, whether it's a play-in opportunity or whether it's a first-round matchup.
Well, before we go to Courtney and we'll shift to baseball, I kind of got a 2-part question about the Clippers and the Lakers, kind of like with the future of it. One, is there any concern about Paul George not signing an extension yet? There's been kind of rumors that maybe he want to go to Indiana, which I don't understand. And then 2, is there any way, because I know we keep talking about the Lakers have these first-round picks, which don't mean nothing to me. They're not going to be high picks, about trying to bring somebody there to at least extend this LeBron window?
Well, I think also, too, when you talk about the Clippers, I think the Clippers love Paul George. I think Paul George loves the Clippers organization. But I also think that Paul George is a businessman. He has to also weigh his options because look here, man, if we go deep and we get far, Western Conference Finals or what have you, hey, man, my coins just went up like I'm playing Super Mario Brothers. So we're going to have to exercise. We're going to have to back up that Brinks truck a little bit more, maybe another Brinks truck. Depending on how far we get. So he's playing it the right way. I think Paul George is a smart guy. I think he loves playing in Los Angeles. He loves playing for the Clippers. The fans love him as well. He's been playing, like I said earlier, at a very high level and a consistent level. And this is the same guy that took this team to the Western Conference Finals with an injured Kawhi Leonard and put this team on his back and got them to 6 games in the Western Conference Finals. So I think this is a guy that now has some help. He's got guys that have bought in. They all have bought into Ty Lue. They have bought into the vision. And I think they're going to do. They want to see it all the way through. And I think once whenever the final game is for them, and they go into the offseason, I think that's when we'll find out how much Paul George is a business guy. He's doing incredibly well with his podcast. I enjoy it. So I think he's also looking into other business ventures as well. So I'm not too concerned about it. I don't think Clipper fans are too concerned about it either. As far as the Lakers go, man, I mean, the reports are they're trying to package up some of these first round picks, maybe, send a couple guys, packing, maybe put them on a Southwest flight out of town. I don't know, but they're looking forward to trying to get a third player. Now, who that third player would be, we have no idea in West Hell who that can be and how much is that going to be effective moving forward, because LeBron is getting older, even though he's playing at a high level. And then also too, Anthony Davis, fingers crossed he stays healthy, but God knows he only going to give you about 60 to 65 games a year. Yep. Is that going to be enough moving forward? And then, everybody's talking about, will LeBron, re-sign because his deal is going to come up? Will the Lakers continue to invest in LeBron? Hell yeah, they're going to. From a basketball standpoint, should they part ways? Yes. But from a money and a business standpoint, hell no. They want to put them asses in seats. And LeBron James is must-see TV. So if you want to come to a Laker game and watch must-see TV and a future Hall of Famer, they're going to continue to be in the LeBron James business as long as LeBron wants to play basketball. And I could see him absolutely retiring as a Laker. But also too, don't give me that BS about, I don't know about a farewell tour. That is.
I was like, get the fuck out of here.
My man is on that new era. He capping. He capping like new era, man. Stop it. You know damn well you want that farewell tour. Kobe got that farewell, so to speak. Michael Jordan got it. The great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got it, obviously, when he retired. So the greats always want to get their flowers, and they should. They've earned it. They've worked extremely hard for it. So
his best friend, Dwayne Wade, got it.
Yeah, and another great player. I mean, he deserved it. That's Wade County. That dude was so good, they named a county after him. Yeah. I mean, come on. So, I mean, when you think about the Miami Heat, you think about Dwayne Wade. You don't necessarily, unless you are a diehard Heat fan, think about Ronnie Cycli or Sherman Douglas. You think about Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Flash.
100%. 100%. Go ahead, Courtney.
So, Nick, staying in the greater Los Angeles area, the Dodgers were obviously the talks of not just the baseball world, but the sports media world, signing Shohei Ohtani to that 10-year, $700 million deal. Acquisitions of Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, amongst others.
Go ahead, girl. You said that name with some ease. Go ahead now. Go on.
The real curious one for me, though, is their counterpart in Orange County, Los Angeles, who, arguably, arguably their greatest offseason acquisition was their manager, getting Ron Washington on board. That dumpster fire, respectfully. What's the outlook looking like in Anaheim this season?
I think you said it best. Uncle Ron gonna have a lot of Hennessy to be drinking after some games. The hen doggy dog gonna be flowing. I think a lot more than necessary, because that team is going to be god awful. I think they're going to win some games probably that you probably don't expect them to. But the one thing I will say about Ron Washington, he does give his all. He expects his all out of the players. No matter who you have to play the cards that you've been dealt. And when you talk about the greatness of a Mike Trout, who came out recently and said, hey, it'd be quitting if I wanted to risk a trade. No, it wouldn't. I love Mike Trout. Mike Trout is a great guy. I've seen him sign autographs for fans. I've never seen him turn down a fan or a child for a picture or autograph. He is a great ambassador for the Los Angeles Angels. Artie Moreno needs to get down on his knees and thank the good Lord every day that he has Mike Trout. I don't know what kind of good game he didn't spit in Mike Trout's ear, but damn, it is working thus far. And again, when you have a generational talent like a Mike Trout, who still wants to be there despite the absence of Shohei Ohtani, that speaks volumes about him and his character versus the crappy ass organization known as the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and them. And I think also too, when you look at, like I said, I love Joe Adell. I think they have a lot of young and up and coming players. I think Joe Adell is going to be a very great up and coming player at some point. I think he has a lot of potential. But that team is going to be they're going to be the Clippers of the sports arena. You remember when people go to the sports arena with Clipper games for $15 just to see Michael Jordan or David Robinson or the other opposing team, Magic Johnson coming in there from the Lakers or somebody like that. Yeah, you got a cheap opportunity to watch the other team come in there, whether it's the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers when they come down the Interstate 5. That's where it's going to be. And I wish to God that Mike Trout would seek a trade. I mean, he deserves it. This man has not sniffed the draws of the World Series or the playoffs in Lord knows how long. He got swept by the Kansas City Royals back in 2014. Last time he even saw a playoff in person. So, the Angels, ain't nobody outside of Anaheim or Orange County, nobody's checking for the Angels. It's all about the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the prime time premier team that everybody across the nation is going to watch because, as you mentioned, Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, and then you got Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, you got Will Smith. You got all they have the pieces that they needed, and the Dodgers understood. And I think I give a lot of credit to Andrew Freeman. I give even a lot more credit to Dave Roberts, because if Dave Roberts didn't have that Japanese connection, which has helped get Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani, I said it before on another network, hey, man, y'all need to be giving Dave Roberts a Christmas card and a couple bottles of wine of his choosing, because that man was very instrumental. And it also extended his opportunity, because I think right now the Dodgers have a 2-year window to get it done. You have got to get a championship down Figueroa, and you have got to get a parade, down Figueroa, and get a championship brought back to Los Angeles. And I think now you have the pieces, and you got some guys that will be coming off of injury and coming back at some point throughout the season. So don't be too afraid and don't be too upset if the Dodgers start off the season slow. But eventually, it's not always how you start, it's how you finish. And remember, a lot of people last year thought the Dodgers wouldn't even win the NL West. They thought the Arizona D-backs, which they got, they were absolutely atrocious down the stretch. And they folded like a cheap chair from Home Depot. So I think when you look at this Dodger team, I think they're going to win the West again, even if they start slow, but they're going to get guys coming back. I think if they stay healthy, you got Mookie Betts coming in the infield now. I think there's going to be some changes, and there's going to be some significant changes. And these guys have to remember, these guys are a tight-knit group now. These guys advocated for Shohei Ohtani to come. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, these guys advocated for Yamamoto. Hey, man, go Yamamoto available? Okay, let's go get him. It's like they were going to Costco on Sundays for free samples. Oh, no, we want that. We want that. I mean, it was just a smorgasbord. And so, like I said, they have a 2-year window. I think that LA is excited. And I think Shohei Ohtani is going to be the biggest name in Los Angeles, more than LeBron James.
That's definitely going to be interesting to watch. I'm definitely looking forward to watching this Dodgers season, see what Ohtani is going to do in the bright lights. As I've told everybody who doesn't spend a lot of time in LA, there's a much difference between the Dodgers and Orange County.
Hey, man, look here. LA is a Dodger and Laker town. I've gotten hit up by DMs from people I hadn't talked to in years asking me, can I get tickets? Hell no, you can't get no damn tickets. I'm getting in with a credential my damn self. What the hell make you think I ain't talked to you in years? All of a sudden you want to hit me up? And some of my colleagues have been hit up too. And I look at them, man, like I see through them like cellophane and Scotch tape. Man, I don't see you. I know your motive is.
Definitely, man. Nick, it's always great to talk to you, bro. Always good to get your insight. Let them know where they can get in tune with you, everything they got going, everything you got going on over there at Nitecast Media.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys having me on once again, and I feel for you as a Chicago White Sox fan. Sounds like the Angels and Artie Moreno, so God bless you and Godspeed.
I moved on.
You got off that narcotic?
I'm off the narcotic. I've moved on. I am I'm cashing in my 10-year LA residence. And y'all
okay. Yeah, all right. Well, as long as you know how to drive, man, I'm good with you, man. I'm tired of these damn transplants getting on the 110 or the 405, don't know how to damn drive. So as long as you can drive, we welcome you. Absolutely. But no, man, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Nick Hamilton LA. You can also find me on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Nick Hamilton 213, and also follow us at Nitecast Media on all social media platforms. Check me out every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Pacific. 1 p.m. Eastern, Sirius XM channel 145. The NH Experience is back in effect like we never left. And you're going to be talking sports, entertainment, culture, everything that you want to talk about, we going to talk about. If you get offended, oh, well, I got a nurse for you on the side.
Definitely, man. That's how we roll over here too, bro. So definitely good to holler at you, man. And I'm gonna get up with you.
Hey, appreciate you, man. I'm looking forward to the WNBA season too. Make sure y'all check out the Hardwood 94 coming up in May. We'll host Jackie Ray. We got season 2 coming, and we got a lot more tricks up our sleeve. So y'all stay tuned.
Get in tune with everything they got going on, bro. Well, I'll let you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. We are going to move on and bring in our next guest. This next person here, man, we've got the homie Amp from Random Acts of Podcast. Amp, are you can you hear us, brother?
What's good? Yeah, I can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, G?
Doing all right. I was backstage for a little bit. I was loving that last conversation because I don't really watch I just watch Marlins only. So
yeah,
I was getting his opinions on Shohan and all that. That was pretty interesting.
Follow your girl at 1-800-CALLA-BRO also for all of her Major League Baseball.
With Courtney.
Got you.
Definitely. I'm tap in.
I got you. Tap in.
I watched. Come on. I watched this show. You be slandering the Jaguars, so you be slandering Trevor Lawrence. So I'll be tapped in. So I'm familiar with it.
I got some questions for you today. I noticed a pattern, Amp, and we got to confront the pattern. It's the only way we can break the cycle. Okay, we'll get into it in a minute.
And Bang also came up with the name Trick Off Trev. So we
Trick Off Trev.
That's my favorite from this past season.
But
come on, man! Our number one receiver is a parlay man. That should tell you something.
Well, yeah, man, we've got the homie Amp from Random Acts of Podcast, man. If y'all not in tune with these guys, you, Mr. Jefferson, Devin, everybody, y'all, I feel like are one of the pioneers in this podcast space. And what I mean by that is when I first started podcasting, me and my brother did 79th and Hollis, which was damn near 10 years ago at this point. We started in 2015. We had the shitty ass microphones. I ain't had no headphones. I was using the speaker mic. Like that's how bad those prior episodes were. But I know you were one of the first guys. Y'all started doing this, and it just became like a big business. Like you guys got a booming Patreon, booming fan base. You guys have had live shows and even opened up content space. Now you got RAOP Studios. My bad. Fuck up that.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Where I'm at right now.
That's where you're at right now. And so just tell me, just the whole, journey, I guess is. I think a lot of people, especially today, think you just get on a microphone, talk, boom, you got a podcast. There's a lot of things to go in. Tell us about the journey.
All right, so basically when I started, I think it was around 9 or 10 years ago, I started Random as a podcast. It was just, I was at a dark time in my life, so I was nigga, I need to do something with my life. So at the time, I was listening to a lot of I know niggas can't say his name now, but I was listening to Joe Rogan a lot. I was listening to a lot of Joe Rogan.
Wait. Joe Rogan is the most listened to podcast
by black people. I did not know that until Bang sent that up this morning.
By black people for real?
Yeah, there's actual stats. The most listened to podcast by black people. I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
I'm not shocked, but
yeah,
I'm not.
I definitely thought Joe Budden was going to be number one.
Yeah, so back in the day when I was listening to Joe Rogan, it wasn't really that many podcasts. So I used to listen to Joe Rogan, Bill Burr, and only person really black podcasting around that time was Combat Jack. So you get a lot of black people saying they were listening to the Combat Jack show and all that. Even Tax Stone and Joe Budden wasn't even podcasting when I first started.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to listen to a lot of Joe Rogan. So I used to tap into his show, and I was like, nigga, I could do this shit. On some kind of how niggas is now when they listen to podcasts, they be like, oh, these niggas having these good conversations. I can do that shit. So I was on the same wave with the Joe Rogan podcast. So I think the first episode I had the homie Biff Lawson on. Okay. So the first idea of the podcast was just supposed to just be me and talking with, just like how Joe Rogan do, just talking with random people. Mm-hmm. But I think around the second episode, I had Devin on. I know Devin damn near all my life since we've been 14, about 20 years now. So that episode just blew up and everybody was like, yeah, you got to keep him on. And then it just evolved from there. Then eventually we known Joe around the same time. He moved back to Jacksonville, and then it just went up from there. And then I think around like maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, we could really like turn this into like a business for real. And so I started like exploring. Even back then, I know a lot of people doing a Patreon. I was listening to like other podcasts and they were doing a Patreon, so I tapped into the Patreon. This may sound problematic, but I feel like the white podcasts are always on the wave before a lot of things, and I like to study a lot of them. So I was noticing a lot of the white podcasts was doing like Patreon and shit. So I was like, let me tap into that, and then everything just blew up from there.
Yeah, and I think like that's the thing too about the Patreon is like it once you do that, it's kind of like you got to be consistent with it too, and that's one thing you guys are consistent with it to where you're getting consistent funds with it. Because even with the barber's chair thing, like I do it pretty consistent now, but it started off first was like, oh, just we updating that right there, but then it becomes like an actual job. You want to give people as much content as possible before the stuff that they're paying. When did you feel like, after doing this, like what like I would say, like what times you felt like, oh man, like, what I'm saying, I can really dominate this space, and decided to say, make this your full-time job and just, really, really pour everything into it.
All right. So it just kind of like slapped me in the face because we were doing the studio. I mean, we were doing the podcast out of my crib. So we did the Patreon. So when I did the Patreon, I didn't have a backup plan. I was just like, niggas just trying to make some money real quick. So we did a Patreon, and then like consistently, like 6 months in a row, we made like over $1,000 on the Patreon, like consistently. And then next thing you know, niggas just had like $6,000 in the bank. I was like, shit, let's turn it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and get a studio. So we went and got a studio, and it just like consistently just went up from there. I didn't have a plan B with the content. I just wanted to, like I said, I just wanted to get some bread. So I like, we had to come up with like ideas. So I like, let's give them bonus episodes. Let's do different shows. Devin got his own show. Joe got his own show, different shit. We got the REOP at night where we bring like the OnlyFans chicks through. Like different shit. Like different
those
shit like
episodes are so entertaining, dog. Like the conversations y'all be having on there, be having me dying laughing.
Yeah. So it just turned up. One of my main motivations is, so with the whole podcast thing is, everybody thinks you got to be like a big name. You got to be like a Joe Budden. You got to be like name some people to make money in the podcast game.
Like no, Nori or some shit like that. Those guys.
Yeah, like you could independently make money in the podcast game. Like I don't work a 9 to 5. I just do this for a living, and I'm living comfortably. I got my own crib. I got this studio. We just opened up another studio. You don't have to be a huge name in the podcast space to make money. So that's basically one of the things like I want to show people with podcasting. And everybody see the whole tweets talking about something. The FBI need to take away podcast equipment. Fuck that shit. Do that shit. If you good at it, just keep doing it. Yeah, as long as you're not doing no brunch boot ass shit, no red pill, no what do you bring to the table type podcasting, you can get an audience and make money, like legit money in the podcast game. Yeah,
I feel like you got to do it right. And I think the thing too, we see on the internet, like the fun podcasts, like y'all niggas listen to the wrong podcast. Like there's different podcasts. Like nobody told you sit up and listen to relationship podcasts all goddamn day talking about Twitter topics. Like I have a rule on damn near every Barbershop Network show we do: no Twitter topics. You will not be seeing me argue about $200 dates and shit like that. It's just ridiculous. But moving to the actual, like, you guys opening different studios, like what has kind of been, the toughest part about that? Because one thing from having, just doing it in the crib, or actually putting in the money to start your own space and to keep it running. Because I know you guys got a couple of them now. It's like you really rallying, Jacksonville and everything you got over there. And that's another thing I like too, is real Florida, man. Like y'all stick to what y'all do, and that's what stands out between everything else. So tell me, like, what's been kind of like the difficulties you might have run into actually building an actual studio?
Shit. Damn. Shit, paying rent. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. You gotta think like, damn, I got 2 rent. I had the rent from the crib. Now I got 2 rents. Now I got 2 internets. Everything just doubled. Yeah. So it's like you got to work your ass off, because if I mess up one month, this shit gone. So it's like
Yeah.
you gotta consistently keep working.
Definitely. So let's move on to sports. I'm gonna give it to Courtney now, as we're gonna talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the floor is yours, Courtney.
Okay. Well, first off, I want to start. Where did I get this reputation of slandering the Jags? Respectfully, they don't even live in my mind like that. I will say, I'm gonna say it now. You do have the best Josh Allen in the National Football League.
See
Oh,
what
wow.
she did?
The best,
Josh Allen.
There's number 41 and plays outside linebacker for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay,
We have them for now. They haven't paid them yet.
So that actually brings me into my question. There's a lot of question marks, around the Jags right now. For me, the first one that really comes in my mind is, where are y'all going to be playing in 2025 and 2026? Are they going to undergo renovations? Are they going to close off the top deck of TIAA? Are they going to relocate to a smaller venue? Are they going to use Daytona? Who really knows, right? But player-wise, the three big question marks for me are Trevor Lawrence. Is he going to get a contract extension? Same with Josh Allen. And also Calvin Ridley, who is in an incredibly interesting scenario based on the circumstances by how they got him. I don't know if everybody knows all the details behind Calvin Ridley's trade from Atlanta, but it was for a 2023 fifth-round pick and a fourth-round pick, a conditional fourth-round pick. Parts of those conditions were obviously based on Calvin Ridley's performance, but also I have to note that if the Jags do re-sign Calvin Ridley, Atlanta gets Jacksonville's second-round pick. I just want to confirm. And if they don't re-sign him, Atlanta gets a third-round pick. And, I mean, if you don't extend him, it's essentially that was a one-year rental for that. So what's going on in Jacksonville? Tell me more about what you think the future of the Jags is and where their priority is as an organization moving forward.
We start with the whole stadium situation. So I don't know the exact figure. I want to say it's like $2 billion to do the renovations. So Shad, he wants to give up. I think he said he's gonna give up $1 billion, and he wants the city to give up the second $1 billion. And Jacksonville is pretty much saying no, we're not giving up the other $1 billion. So it's, to be honest, the motherfuckers might be playing in front of who knows, like in a parking lot soon. But they said if they do get the renovations done, they will play in like Orlando. I think it's called the Camping Grounds. Was it
Well, that's where
the football field in Orlando? Yeah,
Camping World Stadium.
Camping
right?
World. Yeah,
where they play the Florida Georgia game.
Yeah.
Is that not? Yeah. The world's biggest.
Yeah, I've been to that stadium a couple of times. It's a piece of shit stadium. It's terrible. I think it got asbestos in it. Like, no lie, you walk through it, your hair start itching.
You or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma.
Babe, what did they send the Bears when they were renovating Soldier Field? What was that?
They sent them the that was champagne. Champagne.
They sent them niggas U of I. Yeah, I remember that shit.
How far is that from y'all? Because Orlando is like maybe like an hour 40 from us. That's not close.
Like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Like an hour and a half, 2 hours. I should know. I went there. No, I'm not. Never mind. Let me leave that alone. It was about 2 hours.
Yeah, same about same from Jacksonville to Orlando.
It was about 2 hours.
So it's like that's not even close. Like
my college is. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So if the team not playing up to par, I'm not driving 2 hours to watch them play.
Yeah, of course not. Exactly. So what do you think about Josh Allen? Like, not Josh, I said Josh Allen. See, Courtney got me calling him Josh Allen.
Trick off Trev.
Because I feel like he gets away with murder, as I've said on this podcast multiple times.
Yeah, do you want to extend Trevor Lawrence?
Well, you got to extend him.
Yeah, I think you got to.
You ain't got
I think, hold up, the real villain in the Jacksonville offense is Press Taylor. That's the real trick. He's a terrible play caller. And he's back for the next season. I wish he would have got fired. But the real villain is Press Taylor. And I watch every single Jaguar game. We don't got good receivers at all. And then you was bringing up Calvin Ridley. He dropped so many passes. So it's
7 76 touches for like 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns.
But how many did he drop though? He probably would have had more than that if he ain't dropped.
Yeah.
For
sure.
He dropped a ton of.
Mind, there were some gaps. Don't y'all have like a tight end and another wide receiver? Did Christian Kirk? I know he was
injured. He got injured.
And then, but I'm just saying, there's some flashes there. I feel like Calvin really doesn't deserve the smoke.
Well, yeah. Our own co-host Mikey said he does not want him on the Bears. When we looked at the free agent list, he has circled it. Which I said, now you don't want him means it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I
think Calvin's
acquisition from Atlanta was a little, because again, whether you do or you don't, it's still, if you don't, you wait until the league year. What is that? March 13th.
March 13th. Yeah.
You're gonna wait until March 13th. Let him go and then try to re-sign him. But either way, you still just gave up a pick for nothing. That doesn't even. That's tragic.
Well, it sounded like it was a good move at the time. I remember when it happened, everybody was like, "Oh, it's a great move," and people were cussing out the guy. But I feel like I compare everything to how people act. But Bears should have got him. Like that's what you hear with every fucking thing. But we know you're also a big wrestling fan, man. We're on the road to WrestleMania right now. I'm gonna give it to my guy JR Bang. He is our wrestling correspondent. Bang, the floor is yours.
Man, you said that shit like you got to say that shit like I'm Mean Gene Oakland or some shit.
Well, you kind of are. You the Mean Gene Oakland of the Barbershop Network.
But nah, man. We are on the road to WrestleMania, Jack. You know what I'm saying? We got Dwayne Rock Johnson going up against Cody
Versace vest.
So tell me what you thought about the promo. I'll say for me, I wasn't necessarily a fan of the promo, but mainly because I didn't think we need Hollywood Rock.
I like it, but I'm one of the niggas who only watch during WrestleMania season. Right. So take my opinion with a grain of salt.
So what you think about this road to WrestleMania? Cody finishing the story in the Rock's first promo as a member of the Bloodline, or whatever he was throwing up when he was throwing it up.
Man. Oh yeah, he threw up the L. He didn't even throw up the one. He just threw up an L. Hey, I will say this. I feel like he put too much. When he presented himself, he wanted to do like the nostalgia shit with The Rock. I think he put too much time. He put more time into finding that vest than he did into like studying that promo. Because that promo was just, it was like the typical Rock shit, just like running through the hits, calling people like incels, calling people inbreeds, calling white people fat in the front row. It was like the typical shit. He really didn't explain why he's in the Bloodline besides like their family. Like it's like 1 week you said you're gonna, so they did the press conference. 1 week you said you're gonna destroy Roman or whatever, and then all of a sudden you and Roman on like in the same faction. I feel like they just writing the story as they go, and it's nothing about The Rock being in the match that excites me, but it does get like the outside people in, because once The Rock came out, the timeline full is like, oh, Versace Rock back. But it's like when you get the promo doesn't deliver. And like to people that's already watching the show weekly, you like, all right, this is some bullshit for real.
Yeah, for me, when I looked at the promo, I was like, yo, we don't need this version of The Rock. Like we don't need Hollywood Rock back. This is 2003. If this really is a family thing, this is really family versus legacy. And I think it was easy for him to shit on Cody and the legacy that the Rose have in the WWE. Like, fam, your dad came up here with polka dots. Your brother came up in here as gold dust, androgynous and feminine. And your ass went through so many characters, then you ended up Stardust. You ain't got no legacy over here, Jack. Like, we've done this since this organization started. This organization is ran on our backs, but whoever that is, Swanlin, San Diego, I do agree with you. I do feel like at the end of WrestleMania, Roman Reigns will be leaving the ring alone because The Rock is going to take the Bloodline. Because what did I tell you, Scott, a couple of weeks ago? The Rock is what?
COINTELPRO.
The Rock is COINTELPRO, ladies and gentlemen. Rock is COINTELPRO. What are some of the things that you would like to see coming up this WrestleMania season? I mean, I know we're still going through what's that Elimination Chamber that's supposed to happen early in the morning, 5 p.m. Eastern,
You
4
watching
p.m.
that?
Central. I mean, I be up anyway.
AM.
I mean, AM, excuse me. But yeah, I be up at like 3 o'clock anyway because I got kids.
Yeah, this nigga
Kids.
be up.
My kids be up like jumping around and shit at that time. So I'll be up. But
See,
what are your thoughts on this coming up?
4 a.m. So I don't know if I'm gonna be watching that shit. What are my thoughts on WrestleMania coming up?
Yeah, what's your thoughts on WrestleMania coming up? Like, what would you like to see?
So it's kind of like all over the place because we gotta we'll pretty much wait till Elimination Chamber over. I definitely want to see Drew versus Seth Rollins and probably do like a triple threat match, probably with Sami Zayn or something like that. They gotta figure him out in the story. I want to see Tiffany Stratton versus Bianca. I think they should probably do that.
Oh.
Did y'all see any of that Bianca reality show they had? I saw a commercial.
I saw it. Yeah, no, I saw it.
Was that shit like you know, like was it like Total Divas or shit? Was that shit that on E a couple years ago?
It ain't Total Divas-esque, but it's decent. They dress alike too much though.
Have we ever found out where from Chicago Montez Ford is from?
He said he's from out south.
Where from out south?
I don't know though.
Don't have a Chicago accent.
Yeah, but he moved to the south when he was a shorty.
Okay.
Like right
so
before right before high school, he had moved to the south.
Okay, well that makes sense.
He a reverse Kevin Garnett.
Basically.
He's like he reversed. He's also like the Tate brothers because niggas be acting like they was there the whole time. They was not. And them niggas moved to LA very quickly.
They the out of town cousins. They know the Tates are the out of town cousins. You from the crib, but you move, but you come back.
Yeah,
like you fuck with the foes and shit when you get to the crib, but then you got to go back to LA and do a movie role. Yeah, they the out of town cousins.
That's what Montez Ford is. He's the out of town cousin, and I know just from that because I was like, when you from Chicago, you can spot it out very quickly, and I didn't really know till I moved because when I was there, you can't really peep that we got accents till you move. And I'm like, now I can spot a Chicago nigga a mile away. It's so easy to peep the fucking accent, man. But
you know what's funny? Funny. I've been following y'all niggas so long. I could spot a Chicago nigga. Like I've only been to Chicago maybe 2 times, but I've been following all y'all niggas so long and like listening to all y'all content. Like when I see a nigga on TV, I'm like, oh, that nigga from Chicago.
We have me calling people G. Like,
exactly. Yeah, we have corrupted
like, you. Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh, that nigga from Chicago.
Yeah, that's how Chicago niggas talk. That's Chicago women talk too. Like basically, we don't use R's in any. It's Ka. It's car. Like on the reverse in LA, they pronounce the R hard as hell.
Car.
Like, the car. You know what I'm saying? We all saw
car.
It. Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
But to bring it all back home, man, one last question for you, man, and we can get you up out of here. Out of all the episodes that you've done of Random Acts Podcast, you guys are past 500 now. Congratulations on that. I don't think people understand how hard it is to do 5 shit. We've crossed 100 episodes of this show, and I didn't even know. So I went back and did like a count 2 weeks. I'm like, damn, like episode 103. But what has been, I don't know if the best, what's been the most enjoyable podcast, most memorable moment that you guys had out of these first 500 couple episodes?
Damn, it's so many. But one of my favorite ones that we did like last year, we had Boont. So y'all know Boont Gang.
Yeah.
Whole lot of gang shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know if y'all been paying attention to him. So recently, like he like converted to like he like a hardcore Christian now.
Yeah, he changed his life.
We did an episode last year with him. Like we just like went through his journey, and it was like a real like therapeutic type episode. Cause usually we be on there just clowning and shit.
Yeah.
That episode, like we was like no jokes. We got like into the nigga's story on like why he did the shit he did. Talk about him being homeless. He did all the dumbass shit like running in Popeye, stealing chicken because he needed to get a Facebook check or whatever so he could like keep his lights on, like different shit like that. So yeah, that was like one of my favorite ones because it was like a complete 180 on like how we typically did the show.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Let them know
that's an ignorant one, right?
Oh, you talking about the
Sorry, bro.
definitely in a torture rack.
Yeah, you like ignorance.
Oh yeah, a lot of people watch this show like ignorance, man. But let them know where they can get in tune with you, man. Everything you got going on, where they can get in tune with the Random Acts brand.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Ampavelli, follow me on Twitter. Random Acts of Podcast is actually on the Barber's Chair Network, so
Yes,
just stay on the Barber's Chair Network. We drop every week.
Yeah,
but we also on YouTube, youtube.com/ Random Acts of Podcast. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/ Random Acts of Podcast. Tap into our IG, Ario Podcast, all that. We got a bunch of shows. We don't got a network like the Barbershop Network, but we got a couple of shows we produce. 304 Talk, Paid and Bays. Just go to REOP Studios, tap into all that. Creeping Through the Streets, they just went crazy. We went crazy this week. We a couple weeks ago we had the Boss Man D-Lo freestyle on there. Everybody singing that.
Oh yeah,
I was bad as fuck in school.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was done at our studio. So salute to that.
Wait, really?
That. Yeah, they got their whole shit going.
I love that.
Yeah, check it out, Creeping Through the Streets. So yeah, check that out.
Check all that out, man. Definitely. And if you want to obviously catch up with episodes, Barbershop, man, bcnet.com. We update every week, everything we on the Barbershop Network. Amp, definitely great to talk to you again, my brother. Want to have you on here again soon.
Yes, sir. Just holler at me. I got you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And we are going to move on to a little bit of baseball / football talk up in here. We got go ahead. What do you say, Courtney?
I think about that Tia Kemp video of her eating hibachi at least twice a day. At least. So to know that freestyle was recorded in that studio, it brings a different level of clarity for me. I love it.
Yeah, the thing about she sound like she smokes squares all damn day. Like it's that's like she like y'all with the wrong niggas. I'm like, this fucking Pimp C talking like what the fuck is going on?
There's a disconnect, I think, somewhere up there. Those are some large veneers.
Yeah, let's get into a little bit of baseball here, man. Which is Courtney's back each and every week. Y'all can check out the Hot Corner, man. We're gonna really start getting into it with baseball season. We're about a month away from the actual start of the season, so definitely looking forward to that. We talked about here like not too long, maybe a week or two ago. We're talking about Rob Manfred said he's gonna step down in 2029. But a question I had for you, Courtney, is what do you think his legacy is going to be if he does actually retire in 2029, which I'm not 100% he's actually going to do that. I think he was just trying to get out in front of that. But what do you think the actual legacy of him will be when it's all said and done?
Well, it's funny that you just said that last part because I personally think that he will retire. I think time-wise, it does make sense. The man's going to be like 70 years old. Obviously, we've seen people stay in power far longer than age 70. But for me, it feels like just from where he took over in 2015 to 2029 and all of the possible events that could occur between 2024 and 2029. And that's why when you talk about what his legacy is going to be, for me, the story is not done yet. Right? There's a lot of big question marks for me, particularly about, expansion. Major League Baseball hasn't had an expansion team since 1998 when they brought in the Diamondbacks and Tampa Bay Devil Rays. So like, is that going to get done between now and 2029 in the last 5 years of his term as commissioner? I will say, I guess one of the more popular things that he's done in his time as commissioner was implementing those rule changes. I am not completely thrilled with the fact that I have to pay more to go to a baseball game and I'm getting less time in said baseball game because it's so fast. But again, I'm like that one loser that actually enjoys really being at the ballpark and watching games on TV. If I'm going to commit to a game, I'm going to commit to a game.
Let me tell y'all how much Courtney commits to the game. She sent us actual game notes that she was taking in the first fucking preseason game, first spring training game. Like it was over the top.
Again, don't judge me. Also, that was for the chat. Thank you. I didn't put that all over the timeline. You're embarrassing me in front of the hoses. It's crazy. Okay.
Hey, man.
Also, if you're a real baseball head, you know how fun it is to go back and look at some of the prospects. I keep my notebooks, okay, and it's fun to go look back years from now and be like, oh God, remember this guy? Oh God, I wonder whatever happened to him. Or wow, remember when he was just a prospect and now he's 3-time, 4-time All-Star, rookie of the. Don't judge me, okay?
I'm not judging. There's nothing wrong with how you get in. Like you said, I watch Bears games, so I'm not here to judge anybody.
Yeah, you're all down horrendous, okay? And I was down bad for baseball. I missed it, so sue me. There's a lot of question marks still for Rob Manfred. And as we talked about it before a couple of weeks ago, there's another CBA that needs to be signed between now and the end of his term as commissioner. The one thing that his predecessor, Bud Selig, never had to worry about, was a work stoppage. And, there's the possibility that Rob Manfred could have not only one, but 2 work stoppages in his term as commissioner. So, there's a lot of questions whether or not his legacy is going to be a good one. There's a couple of blemishes. Obviously, the Astros scandal, I know a couple of people got punished, but no one on the actual team did. There's people that disagree with how that was handled. There's a lot to unpack within his legacy, but I really don't think that we'll be able to see the true outcome of what that is until the end of his term in 2029.
That's a fair point. Me personally, I think he's the worst commissioner in sports. Like, and that says a lot compared.
Oh, like modern.
Yeah, not of all time in modern history. And that says a lot considering Gary Bettman was runs the NHL. And also, y'all know how I feel about Adam Silver. I think Adam Silver is a good guy, but I think, hey man, I miss David Stern. Like I feel like we had a lot better product when David Stern was running his damn league. But I think you're right. It's still an open book. It's not 100% decided what it's going to be like. But I think it's going to be somebody who kind of like sucked the fun out of the game a little bit. At least for me personally, as a fan, I haven't liked really any of the rule changes that he's done. I think that I still hate the runner on second rule. Even though they changed it into great. Yeah, I hate it so much because like if you're not gonna do it for the play, if you're not gonna do it for the playoffs, fuck you doing it in the regular season for it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I think that would be something. I just think even the way that people talk about him, like the fans and the players, unless something much differently happens over these next 5 years, and it could. 5 years is a long ass time. I'll be damn near bang age in 5 years. That's a long time from now.
Nigga.
He's up here catching strays. That's crazy.
What type of shit?
I my bad. I had to go there, but that it's a long time. So a lot of things can happen. But as far as right now, I don't think it's a good legacy film, and I really want to know what's going to happen over the next couple of years. But let's talk about teams with the most pressure, Courtney, as we kind of were talking about. Who were some of the best free agents on Monday in your segment. Who do you think? Like, if you can give me just a couple teams, have the most pressure on them heading into the 2024 season.
Yeah. So when I was sitting down, really thinking about, because, I mean, listen, every team to a degree is under pressure, right? Baseball is a very regional sport. So there are, every team is under pressure from their local fans to win. But I'm thinking about the teams that, when the lights are the brightest, who is truly under the most pressure and under most scrutiny, not only from their fans, but from the media and the national kind of sports landscape as a whole. And I came up with 3 and a possible 4. For me, number 1 is it's got to be the Yankees. The Yankees, after, you got, yes, I maybe a little bit of my bias is showing. And I honestly, you could swap 1 and 2. But the Yankees are definitely under the most pressure. They haven't made the playoffs in what?
Well, they made the playoffs. They made playoffs last year. They made a couple years ago.
They didn't make the playoffs last year, but they didn't make the playoffs the season before that, right?
Yeah.
Last season, they didn't make the playoffs. But the Yankees are under a lot of pressure to get it done. You have, your rotation is obviously as healthy as it's been in years. You made these big splashy acquisitions for Juan Soto. you got to do something. And if you don't, Aaron Boone is gone. Brian Cashman obviously will make that move to cover his own ass, which I get it. You know, if it's me over you, I'm choosing me every time.
Every time.
And yeah, same with number 2. But again, it depends on who you ask. You know, swap out 1 and 2. The Dodgers. Nick said it earlier when he was on the show earlier, which I really wish I could have gotten into that a little bit more with him, because the Dodgers are under a tremendous amount of pressure. Now, I'm giving them kind of a leash this season simply because they signed Clayton Kershaw to a 1-year deal with a 2-year option, you know, for next season. I don't think that it's fair to put the Dodgers in that situation because, yes, they did sign Ohtani, but he's not pitching this season. Clayton Kershaw is going to miss half the season. There's still a lot of question marks in that rotation. And couple that with there's a lot of competition in the National League, which leads me to my 3rd and a possible 4. Again, depending on who you ask, is under more pressure. I say the Braves are my possible 4 simply because they did win that 4-2 series to win the World Series in 2021 against the Astros. You know, so there's a little bit less pressure. But the Braves, also a team that the past couple of seasons they have lost. You know, and arguably everyone was saying that they should have won, and you know, people are saying that they kind of pissed down their leg a little bit last season. And I don't entirely disagree. But number 3 for me, teams under the most amount of pressure are the Philadelphia Phillies. You got to get it done. You know, you went to the World Series in 2022, unfortunately lost Game 6. I was there. I saw that Yordan Alvarez home run. As soon as freaking Jose Alvarado came out of the bullpen, I said, yo, yeah. I literally took out my phone and I started recording every single swing of that Yordan at bat. And then he connected on like the 5th swing. And I said, yep, that's it. I went back up to the top of the concourse to watch Bama LSU because it was happening at the same time, which that didn't end great for me, but whatever. Okay. That didn't end great. But all that to say, you know, you lost the World Series in 2022. And then in 2023, you blew a 3-2 lead in the NLCS by dropping the last 2 games of that set at home in Philadelphia. That can't happen again. Rob Thompson has done an incredible job with that organization. And I don't think he's necessarily on the hot seat. But I think that if this team fails, I don't know if I still have the Braves winning the division, but with the expanded playoffs, the Phillies really have to make some shit shake this season. They got to make some shit shake.
Definitely. I think that I agree with all those you just named. I'm gonna add another team to it that you didn't name, even though they got scraped the other day. I'm gonna say the San Diego Padres, because the Padres are one of these teams that were praised heavily. I remember the free agency of 2019. How can I forget? The one where Jerry Reinsdorf decided to instead of giving Manny Machado the extra $25 million, let me give it to your bum ass family members who can't even play like you. Let's do that and make you earn that $25 million in incentives. But I'm not going to rant on Jerry Reinsdorf again. But I think that the Padres got to be in there. The Yankees 100%. Even when we talk about when was the last time they made the playoffs. With the Yankees, it don't mean the Yankees are like the Lakers are the basketball version of the Yankees. It's championship or bust for them. And when we had Nick on earlier, we talking about the Lakers aren't going to do that. If you're not going to win a championship when you are a Los Angeles Laker or a New York Yankee, what does it fucking matter? They have not won a championship since 2009. If you want to know how goddamn long ago that was, I was in my 3rd year of college. Obama had only been in office for like 9 months. New Empire State of Mind by Jay-Z was their parade song. On top of that, the Tiger Woods scandal was going on the same week as the fucking parade. If you want to know how goddamn long it was since the last time the Yankees won a World Series. So they're going to be very, the pressure's on them. The pressure's on the Dodgers too. And a lot of Laker fans get mad at me when I say, the bubble championship don't count. I'm talking about the Dodgers too, nigga. Like, they have to be able to do it in front of actual people. And when you go out there and you have like this all-star, not even all-star, it's an all-time lineup now. You've got Mookie Betts, you got Freddie Freeman, you got Shohei Ohtani, you've got all these other guys. You got this great team. You win 110 plus games every fucking season, and you don't get it done come playoff time. They have to get it done. The Atlanta Braves. Philadelphia Phillies is definitely a team too. The story was cool at first. Y'all niggas blew it last year, and y'all lost the year before that. So you need to see them step up to the plate as well. So I think that would be the teams that I would have. But if I had to think of like a sneaky team, not even as like a team that I would even consider winning a championship, a team that's just got to win a couple playoff series, the fucking Toronto Blue Jays, man. The Toronto Blue Jays were another team that was really, really gassed up around the same time as the White Sox. Like all these young talent. They got Vlad Guerrero Jr., you got Bo Bichette, and they haven't done shit either. When are we going to see some things from them? So I really think it's just put up a shut-up time for a whole bunch of those teams, and we're really going to be able to see, like, if the Dodgers don't win, if the Yankees don't win, and let's be clear, Juan Soto hasn't signed an extension, if I'm correct, right?
Correct.
And so he hasn't signed an extension, so it's not
Imagine the embarrassment for the Yankees if Juan Soto does not sign an extension and decides to go elsewhere. First off, that man's passed around like a blunt at a frat party, which is ridiculous because Juan Soto is one of the best baseball players. I know last season, wasn't his standard, right? But if like that's a bad season for Juan Soto, then like, you're getting a pretty damn good player. But like, I'm giving the Padres a pass because their owner did just pass away, and he was the visionary behind putting together all of these moves. So they're in a transitional period. They're not even respectfully, of course, like very, very respectfully. They're not even in my mind of teams under pressure, because that was a huge loss for that community and for that organization and what they were trying to do moving forward. I think there was no realistic path with Juan Soto there monetarily. You signed Xander Bogaerts to that huge deal, and now he's shifted over from shortstop and is now playing second base, and we don't even know if that's going to be a good fit. Now you have three guys. Oh, we talked about it in the chat. You got three guys on your team that are due like $1 billion basically over the next 10 seasons, and none of them play shortstop anymore. You got three shortstops. None of them are playing shortstop. Best player on that team is Ha-Sung Kim, who actually is about to, if he knows what's good for him, will be leaving that organization at the end of this contract year and going to get paid somewhere else.
One last thing, we're going to move over to our next topic. Courtney, who's a team that maybe you don't consider a contender outside of, we all know you said Kansas City Royals are going to be good.
I will scream it from the mountaintops. Do you understand? I'm all in, baby.
Which I still think is asinine. What's a team that you were looking forward to watch that you feel could be on the come up and be one of those next teams?
Of course, not a team that I already watched. Gosh, let me think.
We're gonna play the Jeopardy music.
Give me a second. I gotta
let me see. I'm trying to think.
I watched all teams.
Yeah, I know you do. Yeah,
all teams. It's crazy. Hey, listen, I did not spend that much money on MLB TV to only watch two teams. Okay.
Well, here's a better question then. Okay, so the Orioles made a big leap last year. Do you think that they're going to be able to capitalize off that leap, and really make a big move in the playoffs this year?
For me, with the Orioles, because I know Mike Elias made the move to get Corbin Burns, and like that's huge by his standards because he's the general manager for the Orioles. For those that don't know, he has not been one to make trades. Prospects over parades, which is kind of antithetical to the whole winning model, right? But he made that move for Corbin Burns, and I just don't know if it's enough to get them over the hump. Now, that being said, you're kind of playing a funny game in the AL East because it's whoever's going to be the healthiest rotation-wise is who's going to win that division.
Yeah.
There's a lot of question marks with the Yankees. I know y'all always like to make jokes as White Sox enthusiasts. I won't say fans.
No, don't put me with them. That is Michael Rivera. That is him. That is Dante Miles.
But that's a huge question mark for the Yankees. How many innings can they get out of Rodon? And you got to hope that Garrett Cole stays healthy and Nestor Cortez stays healthy. And there's just a lot of question marks in that rotation. So for me, it's whoever has the healthiest rotation is who's going to win that division. And as far as coming out of the American League, I'm not buying into Baltimore quite yet. I think they're right on the bubble, but I think it's going to take more than they've done.
Definitely.
Hey, I got a baseball question.
Go ahead, man.
I got a baseball question. Look at me with a baseball question.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, all right, go ahead.
I love
it. Because y'all have talked about the Baltimore Orioles a couple of times. Not necessarily talking about a team that might make the playoffs, might go to the championship series or go to the World Series. But who's a team that you feel like that can make a huge jump and set themselves up for the future?
Oh man. Not to be a homer and like pander to the Chicago crowd, the Cubs could really do themselves a service. Just go get Cody Bellinger. Just go get that man. Go sign Cody Bellinger. Shore up some question marks that are kind of in that outfield, and then kind of figure things out in your infield. But go get Cody Bellinger. That's a mitzvah for the people of Chicago. You don't sign Dansby Swanson. Okay, yeah, you let Marcus Stroman go. That's kind of, that doesn't move the needle too much for me. Thank you, Orlando. I appreciate it. I think the Cubs have a lot of great pieces within their system that they're going to be an interesting watch, but only if they go sign freaking Cody Bellinger, who still, as of 5:20 p.m. On Friday, February 23rd, is still a free agent.
And who is that team that's going to take a tumble?
Oh man. The St. Louis Cardinals are predicted to win the division. Just to confirm, they are projected to win the division 85 by winning 85 games, which is how unbelievably atrocious the NL Central is. They signed Sonny Gray. They got him from Minnesota. They signed ground ball specialist Kyle Gibson, who formerly was in Baltimore last season. So they lost a starter. Baltimore did. They also signed Lance Lynn. You all know him quite well as do I.
Them pitchers going to be flying over that damn fence, nigga.
Correct. And that was actually a weird contract. They gave him $11 million for the year, which
it's an $8 million. No
disrespect intended. That's a lot of money for 2024 Lance Lynn. Maybe they see something on the periphery that I missed in his time in Los Angeles last season. Maybe they figured it out. Maybe they got it right. But I don't think that the St. Louis Cardinals are going to win the NL Central. In fact, I think they're going to finish somewhere third or fourth. That's maybe my boldest take, but I don't think that they're going to win the division. I don't think they're going to make playoffs. That's, I guess, a hot take, or my boldest take about teams that are, projected to do well, but I don't think they will.
Let's move on to our last topic before we get you out of here, Courtney, and then I'm going to debut a new segment called "Can I Get Live" with my homie Mike from PillarsClub.co, getting to everything. They're one of our sponsors. Let's talk about something I read. Well, actually, something Bang submitted, which I didn't know he said this, but Antonio Pierce, who is the new head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, shout out to him, confident on the rise. We still waiting for that ABC ESPN interview is gonna happen outside of Tam's Burgers on Rosecrans. We bring all the old homies out like Bang said was gonna happen. But he was on a podcast, and there's new athlete podcasts every fucking day.
Right, Max was that Max Crosby?
I know what Ant said, and I really respect it. I really do. And I'm in agreement. I say that as someone currently on a show and, that moonlights in podcasts. Not every athlete needs a podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate the athlete perspective, because if I can come up here and talk my shit and I never played the game before, y'all can too. My only wish is y'all be entertaining. So I love KG's podcast. KG Certified. KG talk like every Vice Lord uncle ever. It is very appreciative. This nigga went from one part of the podcast talking about y'all keep protecting that nigga Bron, and then the next minute tomorrow, no, he on that balcony, Lord. Come on, Lord. He still hoop, Lord.
That's
the type of excitement that you get from KG. I love Paul George's podcast. I like Lou Wills. I didn't think I liked Lou Wills. I like him, Lou Wills still, but I haven't seen
Lou Williams got a podcast?
Yeah, called Kings of the Underground. It's him and who's Kevin Hart's Spank Horton, the comedian who who is in Kevin Hart's crew or whatever. I don't want to minimize him to Kevin Hart's crew. He's one of the people who writes. He travels with Kevin Hart, writes with him and shit like that.
Plastic Cup Boys.
Yeah, Plastic Cup Boys. Yeah, so but pretty much Max Crosby has a new podcast that he has. It's called the Rush Podcast. And on the Rush Podcast, he had Antonio Pierce on as a guest. And basically he said that, how to defend Patrick Mahomes. He said that they felt like they did one of the best jobs of defending Patrick Mahomes, and basically said we've got the Jordan rules. He said, if you remember from back in the day, how they used to guard, the Detroit Pistons used to guard them. He said, from now on, as long as I'm here, the Patrick Mahomes rules. He said, basically the Pistons used to whoop his ass every time he came to the hole, elbows, love taps, whatever. He said, so basically that's basically what we're going to be doing, and use the phrase that basically go for the head and the rest of the body will follow. My question, I'm going to bang with this first. First of all, I have no problem with this. I like, aggressive football, number one. Number two, this is 100% going to backfire. Now, I don't care how many times you put Patrick Mahomes in a 3D. If you ain't got the quarterback, you talking too greasy for a nigga who ain't got no quarterback and Luke Getsy calling plays. Bang, do you think it's going to backfire on them, number one? What do you feel about the whole comment, number one? And number two, do you think they're going to fine him for this? Because the league doesn't want any parts of this.
He's not going to get fined. But the conversation has already been had. Shut your ass up. I'm actually disappointed by these comments. The reason why I'm disappointed is because he ain't wrong. Like, he's not wrong. Everybody got rules to stop a player. But why the fuck is you talking about it, AP? Like, why? What was the, like, y'all sports niggas got to stop being chatty patties when y'all get on these pods about stuff that y'all gonna talk about in game. And I think that's what it was. I think AP got comfortable with the homies. He got comfortable in the conversation. He trying to, make sure he good with his vets and all of that stuff, and just talked way too much. And that's what I'm disappointed at. Not what he said, not how he said it. I think that you should have rules. And yes, it's football. You want to beat up the people that's the whole point of football. Beat up the people that you're playing against. It's a war of attrition. But shut the hell up, fam. Respectfully. Because you came on the pivot when a blue flannel, and I just got a feeling I know what that means. So,
it's the homies.
So respectfully, AP, man, just don't go on these podcasts no more being a chatty patty, man. Just your game plan is your game plan, and the world don't need to know about your game plan, because now Roger Goodell and already called you and say, if that man ended up hurt,
that's on you. Courtney, what do you think about this?
Bang took the words right out of my mouth. I have no beef with trying to implement these kinds of rules and strategy, but like, sir, the Raiders beat the Chiefs one time, and now this man's up here running around like he's got like, okay, I beat Patrick Mahomes. This is the one thing you got to do to beat Patrick Mahomes. Like, you're like, brother, save it for the memoir in like 25 years. I don't need to hear about how you've implemented a Mahomes rule while you still have to face Mahomes twice a year. I just don't understand the logic. Stop talking. Respectfully, love you. Big fan of what you're doing with the culture of the Raiders. Stop talking. Stop talking. You leave that for the clubhouse, for the locker room, excuse me. You don't tell me that. I don't need to hear that. That's all I got.
I'm with you on that. Like I said, I like violent football. I'm sorry if I'm problematic for that. They're gonna get TT. They knew the decision they made when they decided to put them pads on when they were teenagers. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I want to see or somebody like, you knew what it was. Like, I was watching the Patriots Dynasty documentary on Apple TV Plus. If you've not watched it, it is a great documentary. I saw some of the hits, like the hit that the Steelers put on Tom Brady in that AFC Championship game that Drew Bledsoe had to come in and save the day. You would get kicked out the league for that shit now. Like, just so I understand, like, he's, Antonio Pierce is old school. He was on that defense that put Tom Brady through multiple tables when they beat them in 2007. So I understand where he's coming from. My thing is, like you just said, Courtney, shut the fuck up. Don't say it. Like, don't poke the bear. If there's anything we've known from this Kermit the Frog talking ass nigga, is that he is a psycho. Okay, he's gonna remember these things.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt. But I'm just because I didn't even know I was on mic. I'm laughing loud as hell. So they really had a Stephen A. Smith blooper reel.
Yeah.
The new they showing it on ESPN.
because he said he's eating cheeseburgers. Instead of winning playoffs, he's getting fat. That's what Stephen A. said. But to wrap this up, what I was gonna say was it's basically just don't poke the bear, bro. Don't poke the bear. You have to play this nigga twice a year. And I even saw, I think Jim Harbaugh said, "Oh, we want to play them on opening night." No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want to come to Arrowhead and play these niggas with the banner. They not gonna let that shit fly that Detroit did last year. You don't want that. Leave them alone. Okay, that's all I got. I love the sentiment. I love what you're doing. You're getting your guys gassed up. I love it. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep saying you can hit that motherfucker as many times as you want. If you can't score with him, it don't matter. And last time I checked, your quarterback is who? Aiden McConnell. Yeah, with Aiden McConnell with Luke Getsy calling plays. Yeah, that sounds like 5 wins. Okay, it sounds like 5 wins. Like there's been quarterbacks way more talented than him that have failed on Luke Getsy. So, that's all we got for that. I know, Courtney, we're gonna get you out of here. You're going on Monday, but you will be back next week with the hot corner. We're gonna really start getting some of these division breakdowns. Let them know where they can get in tune with you and what they can expect the next couple coming weeks.
Yeah, so you can follow me at 1-800-CALLA-BRO on Twitter, now known as X, but follow me on Twitter, Instagram. If Scott didn't already freaking rat me out, I am a baseball head. I am a baseball head. This is what I do. This is my world. So if you ever have questions, things that you want to hear us talk about on the show, please send me a message at me. I am very receptive to baseball specific conversations. Hit my line. I'm down to talk about why slugging is better than batting average. Let's get into it. I'm all in. Next couple weeks, we're trying to get into some divisional breakdowns, so you're well informed leading into opening day on March 28th.
Definitely, Courtney. We're going to holler at you next week.
Beautiful. Sounds good. Enjoy the weekend, guys. Enjoy that spring training baseball that we got on lock.
Definitely. Bang is going to head to the I'm not gonna hold you bench real quick as we're gonna bring in Mike, or unless he wants to stay. It's up to you. It's up to you, brother. Yeah. Did you freeze, nigga? Yep.
Oh, no, I was on mute. My bad.
Exactly. Anyway,
we're y'all talking basketball?
Yeah, we about to talk hoops.
Oh, basketball. Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. We're gonna bring in the homie Mike. Mike, what is going on, brother?
What is going on, man? How y'all feeling today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's good to have you on here, man, to talk a little basketball in this new segment that we got that we are calling Can I Get Live? Now I'm going to, and by the way, those you don't know, getting to him, Mike, he is the owner of Pillars, which is one of our sponsors here on I'm Not Gonna Hold You. You can visit pillarsclub.co right now. Get all the clothes. I know you guys just got some new shipments in at the stores. Can you tell the people where exactly you guys got? I know you're closing up we're reshuffling the 87 store. Where you guys will be moving next?
No, we don't know yet, but we do have a few places in mind. It might be another mall, so who knows?
Okay.
So we just looking forward to see how things go, and then a lot of people kind of happy like move to 87, like it's kind of dangerous over there, but 87 treated us well.
Kind of.
I think we've been there for like 5 years. I think we've been there for like 5
kind of.
years.
Nigga,
hey, don't fuck with that store over there. Don't fuck with that store over there, Joe.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I'll say this. I don't know if you remember, we had Joe's 28th or 29th birthday party a couple years ago. Nigga, remember, we were so drunk there. This how fucked up it is over there. And I have to say it. I was smacked. But nigga, I sobered up when I walked to that Subway, nigga.
And that's Subway right there.
And it's literally right next door.
So
literally right next door. Yeah. I sobered up like a motherfucker. But anyway, why the reason we're calling this Can I Get Live? So those of you who don't know. So me and Mike, when we talked to each other, I don't know if y'all remember the classic Ray J call on Breakfast Club. Can I get live? Ray J. Yeah, so basically when me and Mike, when we talk and one of us got to say, We got to rant. We got to say something controversial. We're like, yo, can I get live real quick? So that's what we gonna do in this segment. We were supposed to have Dan involved, but Dan had some stuff he had to take care of. So Dan will be back next week on the show for Cousin Dan Fridays. But Mike, you wanted to add this to the rundown. Of course, we just got done with All-Star Weekend. I voiced my displeasure for it on the Monday show, but a lot of people, Kevin Garnett, I know a couple people I Bang and Pavu was saying that you kind of got to blame LeBron for ruining the dunk contest and the All-Star experience. What do you personally feel about that?
Okay, let me get live. Because people are, oh, you're LeBron stand and stuff like that. I just got a question.
Did you give the context?
Is he influential or not? Because there's a lot of people out here that said he's not an influential player ever. You have your opinion. But then when something's not what it's supposed to be, it's his fault. And they're saying these grown-ass men are not participating because LeBron didn't participate. Are you telling me Zion, Ja, other players are not doing this because they was like, oh, LeBron didn't do it, I don't want to do it? Like, you're blaming one person. So when it was going good, when we had a few years of it's going good, everybody, the Aaron Gordon, which is one of the best dunks I ever seen in my life, when he sat in the air and put it on his legs, that was crazy. Yeah. The Aaron Gordon, the Blake Griffin, the Zach LaVines, the Jason Richardsons, when it all goes good. But then when it goes bad, LeBron, because he's a big person that could jump and has athletic ability. That doesn't mean he could come up with a creative dunk. We at the point now, the dunk contest is going to be what it is because everyone's fucking athletic. Everyone could jump over somebody that's 7 feet tall. It's not about if you could dunk, it's the creativity of it. I think people that's in the dunk contest should take more pride of it. In, like, when you see these G League players or these guys off the street that's doing dunks, hire them, practice it. You got to hold, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to put in the work instead of the league just saying, oh, hey, the dunk people are literally saying that because the dunk contest was trash and the All-Star was trash. Oh, it's LeBron's fault.
Okay. It's context. It's context, right? And here's the context. And I'll just speak for me. I ain't speaking for no other nigga. This is why I said last week it's indirect. It's not direct. And when the dunk contest used to be the rites of passage, every nigga did this shit. It was just a rite of passage. LeBron didn't do it. So I think it made it easier for other niggas not to do it. Not saying it was LeBron ain't doing it, so I'm not. It made it easier for other people to bypass it because back in the day, if you was one of those niggas who was dunking, I don't give a damn if you was, because most of them dunks, you even look at it, it was creativity for 1985,
exactly.
Creativity for 1995. So I do agree with you on that point because for some people it's like, damn, what the fuck? What else can I do? What I believe, though, is part of it is niggas also don't want to be embarrassed. Niggas don't want to be Nate Robinson and have to take 5-6 attempts and then look like shit.
It's not as easy as it is.
Shut up, Alex. It's not as easy. It's not as easy as niggas think. So it's like, man, LeBron ain't go up there and do no power dunk. What the fuck? Now, the All-Star game in general, indirect blame for LeBron because I believe that year that he didn't take the shot, I think niggas was like, yo, we going a little bit too hard for this All-Star game, G. Y'all see how they killing LeBron for not taking the final shot? I think that right there, indirectly, not directly, not blaming Bron, but people, I believe that there are NBA players who's using that shit as an excuse to not go hard because that was an embarrassing moment for Bron ass when you think about it. Like, niggas made LeBron out to be a pariah because he didn't take the last shot in the All-Star game.
Right.
So why? So
3 All-Star MVPs. Like here's my thing too. This is why the All-Star game is screwed. It can't be fixed. You know why? Before anything, it's a business. Not only for the owners, the players. So hear me out. If I'm Mark Cuban, I'm telling them, listen, I don't want Luka, which they do. I don't want Luka playing these many minutes. I don't want that. God forbid, like Luka, he knows he's going to have a big superstar max. God forbid he get injured in an exhibition game. An exhibition game and losing is like they look like the players look at it as a business too. They look like Luka, Jason Tatum, things like that. Like it's not a real game. It doesn't. You don't gain nothing from it. I know everybody like, oh, well, back then it's this and that third. Yes, but they wasn't.
Here's the only problem with that, Mike. Here's the only problem with that, Mike.
What?
In the off season, niggas be going hard as fuck at Lifetime
And
Fitness.
that's my part. This
They
is
be going hard as no. Hear me out.
Man, they got
No.
15 seconds to shoot. They got
Nigga, they go harder at the Drew League than they do at the All-Star game. Let's call a spade a spade. Again, I ain't saying you wrong. I just think you going in the wrong direction. This shit ain't cool no more, my nigga. The All-Star game ain't cool no more.
Even the Pro Bowl, like it's a business. Like
yeah, but see, the Pro Bowl's never been like. Let me say this.
Go ahead.
Man. This is what I feel about the whole situation. I don't think there's anybody to 100% blame in the situation. I think there's a lot of people you can blame. I think that KG wasn't 100% wrong. I don't think Paul Pierce was 100% wrong. Do I blame LeBron for the dunk contest? No, I think he has a part in it. I feel like if he did do the dunk contest, it would more be like, oh, okay, he did it. Maybe I should do. I think it's the star level that's more of an issue. Yes, has there been a lot of dunks that people have done before? Everybody's athletic, yeah, but there's a problem when you got Mac McClung. With no disrespect to him, the nigga's been in 4 total NBA games. If you got him winning multiple fucking dunk contests, and the only reason they had Jaylen Brown is because the Jaylen Brown's a star in this situation. But I think the overall thing when it comes to this All-Star game compared to all the others, and I personally think that all 3 All-Star games just really aren't that entertaining. I think Major League Baseball has the best one, but with football, you can't expect them to play that, play hard with, after going through 18 weeks of war. I think that the actual, the flag football is probably the most entertaining thing they've done. I don't watch it, but we've heard good reviews from it.
Look, man,
basketball, it's hard, and it's a younger generation thing. I know I'm sounding like an old head here, but it's kind of like what KG said. You had the OGs talking to them. I blame LeBron, Steph, KD, all them niggas for not, putting it into the fact where you should care about this shit. You shouldn't have Larry Bird
Yeah, they can, but honestly, man, for real, man, what's cool about All-Star Weekend for the NBA players is the parties that happen before and after
and that's
the
what
game.
KG said.
That's what it is. It's that shit, man. The All-Star game for those players lost their coolness when they icon got shitted on for not taking that shot. So niggas was after that shit was like, why are we taking this shit this seriously? It's the finals. You know what's cool to a lot of these players? These pro-ams, Lifetime Fitness. That's the real intensity for these niggas. And for anybody to say that ain't true, fam, you got to look. There's been NBA. I don't remember an NBA player getting injured for the rest of the season by tearing up their shit at the All-Star game. But I've seen niggas go at pro-ams. Go talk to DeMarcus Cousins ass. He tore his ACL and shit. Yeah, a couple of niggas. Yeah. Like Michael Jordan got his ribs broke by Ron Artest and shit at a goddamn basketball game at Hoops. The shit is intense and they want to do it at those joints, but we've seen more niggas get injured for the year at a pro-am than the All-Star game. The fact of the matter is, going to the Drew League is cooler at this point for some of these niggas than the All-Star game. Because niggas is not trying to get embarrassed in front of millions and millions of people like LeBron got embarrassed when he didn't take that final shot. They'd rather go to the Drew League. They'd rather go to any pro-am in LA, to the beach. They'd rather go to Lifetime Fitness where it ain't a whole bunch of cameras. So we could be real aggressive in that motherfucker, talk all types of shit, call everybody all types of bitches and hoes, fight. Yep. But then after the game, be like, all right, man, shit, we about to go fuck shorty, shit. You trying to slide? Oh, no. That's what they rather do.
Yeah, you can't do that in the NBA.
You can't do that at the NBA All-Star game. They put the Drew League on ESPN.
Yeah.
That shit ended that quick though. Like, no, we ain't doing that shit.
I know from being out here in LA, the Drew is one of them events you do in the summer. Like everybody goes to the Drew. Everybody will go out to Compton, do this, and it's literally one. You know how in Chicago, there's definitely things that you got Shy League, but like Drew League is like I feel like for LA what the Rucker is for New York. So it's a big thing when people come out there and DeMar got his team. LeBron is on DeMar's team and things like that. So I'm not blaming. I don't think LeBron is solely to blame for anything. I just think that it's more of a young nigga thing that I know us as we're older, and this is not it's not for us honestly anymore. But I'm not asking for, like I said on Monday,
they
I'm not
want to see
for
threes. This is what y'all asked the league to be, and now when you see the shit, like they're literally.
It's not even a threes to me. It's just the effort and just not giving a fuck. And what makes me piss me off about it is if they don't make the All-Star team, they're gonna be bitching. And that's the thing I don't like.
I mean, because it's still money involved. They still want, it's still money involved.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next topic. I don't want to spend too much on All-Star, but quickly the new All-Star requirements. Then we're gonna go on to the last, what's going on after one day in the NBA second half. So after a weekend in fucking Indianapolis, and as I've said, I am a big city guy, like obviously from Chicago, live in LA. I'm a big city guy. I don't believe that cities that you don't go for a vacation should be hosting the All-Star game or the fucking Super Bowl. Well, after a weekend in Indianapolis, this came out. 3 new requirements that a hosting city of the All-Star game needs to have. Number 1, 7,250 hotel rooms with a minimum of 3 5-star hotels. Number 2, a convention center that of square feet of at least 650,000 space in exhibition space. And then 3, 75 nonstop domestic flights and at least 20 international flights. For those of you who don't know about Indianapolis, Indiana, they ain't got that. And for this came from a paper in Oklahoma. Of course, OKC wants the All-Star game. Who the fuck wants to go to fucking Oklahoma City for the All-Star game? I don't understand. But I feel like there's a lot of small markets. We've seen people do some pushbacks on that. Bang, you kind of just talked about the parties. And I think that's a big aspect, not just for the players, but for the fans who are coming to town. You want things to do. What do you think about the new changes, Mike? And do you think like this is good for the NBA or do you think it's bad?
I mean, it's like I said, it's a money thing to make it easier. Until Vegas has a team, just keep it in Vegas. Just put it in Vegas. So it's a vacation for everybody. The weather's still straight. Vegas is just, Vegas is Vegas. Until they get a team, just keep it in Vegas so we don't have to go through all that. You know what I'm saying? I understand other cities want it, like you said, Charlotte wanted one, you know what I'm saying? New Orleans might want one. OKC, the Jazz, Utah had one. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck want to go there? But then you think about, like, why did they even have a team? But they got moved there, you know what I'm saying? Because they was in New Orleans way back in the day. So I just think that just have it in Vegas. And I used to say that about the Super Bowl before the Raiders moved to Vegas. I was like, one day it's going to be a disadvantage and the Super Bowl team going to be hosting it. And I think we had back-to-back years with that, with Tampa Bay and then the LA Rams.
And the Rams.
So to make it, you know what I'm saying, fair to everybody, like I was saying, the Super Bowl, don't have it in Arizona because it could be likelihood Arizona, Arizona,
not like
Super Bowl,
Cardinals are not going to
you know what I'm saying? But like if you got just have it in Vegas, you know what I'm saying? But now they got a team. But for the All-Star game, I mean, it's money. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, in Indianapolis didn't have what domestic, like you said. What flights they didn't have?
They have to have that. They don't have. I think it's the convention space.
Right.
So
like it's basically saying if you're a small market team, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what you're saying. If you're a small market team, you fuck. Chicago had one not too long ago. Even though it was cold, amazing. That was amazing.
Great time. And they had been trying to come back to Chicago. Only reason it took so long because Jerry Reinsdorf didn't want to be in Chicago.
Right. The NBA takes over your arena when they come, for the All-Star game. So you have no control. That's like someone coming to your house and they move furniture around. You can't say nothing about it. That's basically what it is. So in '88, when Bulls had the All-Star game there, and Jerry Reinsdorf just didn't like that, and it went from '88 to 2020. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's all it's basically saying. Like, if you're a small market team, you're fucked. Because there's complaints. Like, last year it was Utah, right? So you go to
last year was Salt Lake.
Right, you go to, what I'm saying, you're in Utah, then you go to Indianapolis. Don't disrespect to those cities, but come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real.
Bang, what you think about these new requirements?
It is what it is. It is what it is. Look, you want the All-Star game, you gotta have these joints, fam. We got so many people that's coming up in. We need the luxuries. We need the amenities. We need the rooms. So yeah, no, the All-Star game should be in big market cities or at least mid-major cities. Like there's some mid-major cities that can handle that request and stuff right there. But we ain't trying to go to no small market no more. No, it's just not attractive to folks, you know. So no, I don't blame them for this one. You gotta do what you gotta do. That's why the Bears talking about some let's put a roof on this bitch.
Yeah.
They want the
I mean,
Super Bowl.
I'm with it. I'm glad next year is in California for the next 2 years. Next year will be at Chase Center where the Warriors play, and after that, be back in LA, but it'll be at the Intuit Dome. So I'm good with that. Like, keep it away from the small cities. I'm sorry, y'all. Small markets get mad all they want. Nobody want to go to fucking Indianapolis in the middle of.
Who the fuck want to go to Oklahoma City to go to the All-Star game?
Who wants to go to Oklahoma City? Period. Like, nigga, my grandma used to live out of Oklahoma.
All-Star game in Portland, Oregon. Oh.
Nike would go crazy though.
Nike would go crazy, but also
but
the players would go crazy too, nigga. From nothing else to do.
The Nike promotion that would be crazy.
Or as Pavia says, well, every team needs to have they shine. No, they don't. They really don't.
I mean,
but
Pavia, let's all come together and like kumbaya ass nigga, man. We ain't trying to help
you kumbaya that shit somewhere else. We gonna kumbaya ass in San Francisco next year. You take your ass to Oklahoma City Thunder and go to this small, this small chateau. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to turn into a club that night full of NBA. No,
TGI Fridays and shit. Fuck that. But
no.
Let's move on to the Boston Celtics. Mike, you are a Duke fan through and through.
Absolutely.
Jason Tatum is your guy. Jason Tatum to me gets away with murder every season. And this year's make a break. Right now, the Celtics are pretty much running away with everything. They're dominating the Eastern Conference. They dominated the Bulls last night. And really, it's not even about, seeding for them. We know they're going to finish number one and probably in the entire NBA. It's all about winning the NBA championship. They had a chance to do it 2 years ago. And Jason Tatum had 100 fucking turnovers in the full season. Last year, they had no business. I mean, no business losing to the Miami Heat. And y'all know how much I love Jimmy Butler. They had no business. They should have got swept. But my question for you, Mike, is what is it going to take for them to finally get over that hump to win the NBA championship? Because at this point, I know he's only been in the league 7 years, but he's been to 4 conference finals. He's been to the NBA finals, and they have not got it done. What do you think will take them to finally get over the hump?
A few things. First, he needs to shut the fuck up. Like, I think he just keeps putting more pressure on himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even like, RP Kobe, he references Kobe a lot. And then when he stinks it up, people just go in on him. He just head ass. You know what I'm saying? That's my man's. Jaylen Brown needs a fucking left hand. You know what I'm saying? That's also as well. But yeah. I like the structure of their team though. Like, I don't think it's, if you don't win this year, you ain't never winning it. But this is probably their best chance, especially with Drew. I don't know if Porzingis still out or whatnot, but they got a like Derek White, like they got a solid team. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they run away with it in the East. I just don't see a team that could beat them in a 7-game series unless they beat themselves. That's what it is. They beat themselves, just like you said, with the Heat. When they down 3-0 and then came back and then lost game 7?
Yeah, like, they were down 3-0, and then I think it was a close game. They should have lost games 6 it was.
Right,
and then
lucky shot.
Lucky shot. Yeah, the Derek White bullshit shot, and then they lost in game 7 at home.
Right, at home. That's just embarrassing. Like,
yeah,
you can't dig yourself that hole. The issue is you don't play with your food. You know what I'm saying? Like the teams that you're supposed to beat, you're supposed to beat them quick, get them out the way. And I just like the structure of, like, I just think they beat themselves. I just really do. Even when they played the Warriors that year, I just think they beat themselves. They got a little ahead of themselves. Obviously, they was young, but they have the core to do it. Jason Tatum. Here's the thing with star players and what other people don't understand. You can have a bad shooting game.
Oh shit! Almost we lost him here, but we can think it's the vice hook unconnected. So we're gonna bring it back in a second.
We
But
can have a bad shooting game, but
basically said you can have a bad shooting game, but you can't be consistently doing the things that he was doing. My thing for this, and we'll bring Mike back in a minute, technology. But my thing with the Celtics is this. It's not even about basically that they about what they have. It's basically about the Jason Tatum stepping up to the plate. Bang, what do you think they need to do?
I think, man, they just need to continue doing what they're doing. I think right now, it's well, of course, it's the NBA Finals a bust. They're the best team in the East right now. Don't seem like even the teams after them are really together. So I don't think they're gonna necessarily coast, but they just got to do it. Let's continue doing what they're doing right now, and just punish the East, and then we'll see what happens depending on who they get in contact with, in the West. But look, if there was ever a situation, where we looked at the NBA and said that the title is yours for the taking, and if you don't win it this year, I don't know if your ass gonna get it. It is the Boston Celtics. I will also say, and I've said this with a couple of teams, like, when the Bulls first won their first championship, it's like, yeah, I don't think they're gonna let that shit go. When the Lakers start winning championships, yeah, I don't think they're gonna let that shit go. There's other teams that never reached that hump where I was like, yo, if they end up getting a championship, watch out. That's the Boston Celtics. If the Boston Celtics win the NBA championship this year, they might get it. They might go back to back. They still have a young, good team. Yeah. And if you get all of those players on the same page and they actually win one, they find out what it takes to actually win a championship, that team is young enough to get them at least a back-to-back. So that's what's going to be interesting to me. But they got to get that dog in them. Matter of fact, that might be it right there. Because I remember when I was doing the podcast before, and I was like, yo, I'm not saying it because he's light-skinned, but ain't no dog in Jason Tatum. Like I don't see him aggressive a lot. Like when he get his 40, 50-point games, it's just effortlessly. But I don't see him like putting his foot on your neck and being like, fuck you, Jack. Because his son be at the games watching.
It's when he had those bad games, they be bad.
Yeah,
right.
Terrible,
that's what
bro.
it is. Before I got cut off, like you can't, like me and Scott always laugh. Kobe game 7 against Boston Celtics. His shoot performance was ass. Guess what?
Key rebounds, nigga.
He had 15 rebounds though. You would never heard somebody talk about Kobe rebounds, but you still have to affect the game. It's basketball. There's not pickup games. Okay, my shot's not fucking going. Let me play some stronger defense. Let me crash the boards. Let me do some of this. Like, it's when Jason Tatum has a bad game, it's god awful. And it's like, it's cringeworthy. Like, there's not many of them, and it's just the wrong timing when he has them.
But that's when you know that dog. That's the dog right there. Like, damn, I'm off. But, like, next thing you know, you got 15 rebounds, 10 assists, but your ass done shot 5 from 25 from the field and shit. But you getting to the free throw line. Yeah. Like, that's the dog.
Everybody had bad games. What he went to do?
Yeah,
so it ain't no slam.
But it's like you said, he has them at the absolute worst time. I agree with you, Bang. Like, it's really just about getting the monkey off their back. I feel like if they can go out there and do what they need to, because if you look at the Eastern Conference right now, they really shouldn't be losing to anybody. And honestly, if you want to look at the entire landscape of the NBA, I think the only one that could probably beat them, just because they have no answer for this nigga, is the Denver Nuggets. So it's really about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown doing what they need to do at the end of these games in these series. And I think if they can do that, they probably can go on a run. But speaking of Jason Tatum, man, we kind of just talked about, the new era of the NBA and, some players not caring about this shit and that. The question is this, and Mike, I said this to you a long time ago. I feel like probably like a year or two ago. I said, when LeBron James, Stephen Curry retire, this league is fucked. Because they have to find a star. And it's not even about on the court. Because if you want to talk about on the court, they have a lot of young talent who are talented. And I believe talent-wise can really step up to the plate. This is probably the most talented individually this league has ever been. But as far as on the marketing and, just being a household name, I know my grandma knows who LeBron and Steph Curry. My grandma don't watch no goddamn basketball.
Right.
But she knows who they are. So Who do you think out of these guys, and let's take away the guys who, even let's take away Giannis. Let's take away, guys like that who Giannis has been in the league 10, 11 years now. Who do you think is going to be the next face of the NBA who can not only do it on the court, but also carry the brand forward and be happy and be prideful and wear that as a badge of honor? I believe Magic and Larry did that in the 80s. Mike did that in the 90s. Then you had Shaq, Kobe, LeBron, and Steph. Who do you think could be that guy, Mike?
Honestly, I think it's no one, and I honestly think they don't care because it's like you said, the build the brand in the NBA. They we live in the era now. They building their own brand. We have so much social media, so many outlets now that like Shea. Your mom might not know who Shea is. It's SGA, but these young folks, he getting fits off. That's how what I'm saying. Like they don't care. They going to hoop. Shea is going to hoop. Put a fit on, take a picture, give you a caption like I gave you 30, and this is how I'm dressing. I think it's harder now to find that face because, like I said, that social media aspect is there. That's their marketing tool now. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, you didn't see that many players back then. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to be a big market and things like that. You might get a newspaper article or you got to watch SportsCenter. Not everything's in the touch of your phone. Or you know what I'm saying? You got NBA TV, you got everything. You can see everybody, and I just don't think it's that one person. Like you just can't. It's too much shit going on. Like, okay, you wanted Zion to be the face. You hear his bullshit going around. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this baby mama. You know what I'm saying? He messing with this porn star and stuff their business is out in the open now. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to everybody has dirt, but if you can't expose the dirt, then. You know how many people that came out and said Michael Jordan fucking this and that and third, or LeBron? Not saying they doing, you know what I'm saying? Like it would have
allegedly,
you know what I'm saying? Like all these things that happen, it gets exposed very, very quickly. You know what I'm saying? A phone call to the police, a DUI, a red light ticket, anything that they do get exposed so quickly. So you got to be like squeaky clean, and it's kind of hard to do that in this social media world. You can't like an Instagram picture with a girl with a fat ass, and then I think LeBron liked the picture one time.
Bro, just think about how much shit Justin Fields was getting for unfollowing the bill. He said, "Nigga, I just don't want to see that shit on my time." Yeah, unfollowing,
G.
Yeah,
unfollowing, G. Unfollowing the best, and people just back then it isn't nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's picture. You know how much Tom Brady probably did some bullshit. But he came in the era of 2002. It wasn't no Facebook. It wasn't no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, actually, I was watching the Patriots documentary last. They made a big deal about him going to see Giselle doing the little Bowie. And what's this motherfucker doing?
Like, we didn't know that then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if we would have knew that then, it would have been controversy. Oh, you can't be the face and things like that. Like, you see Luka fucking drinking beers and smoking hookah. He don't give no fuck about being the face of the NBA. He's trying to get his money and win these rings. They don't give a fuck about that shit no more. And it's hard to do. Like, you can't even get a young person to do it. You're not going to have, I think LeBron was like one of the first high schoolers that they put on TV. They do all that shit all the time now. So you see people a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just easily exposed. So I don't think nobody wants to be. I know Jason Tatum says that, but like I said, Jason Tatum just needs to shut the fuck up. But I just don't think nobody wants to be. And now some of the best players are the international players. So that's another thing. Like, okay, you have a American sport, but the international players are the best. So it's like, you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard.
Bang, what you think about this? What about the star, the face of the NBA? You a Michael or you got a name of mine?
I ain't got no goddamn name.
Facts, man. It's nobody.
Like, let's put it like this. Like, if there was a name, we would already be there.
I got a name.
So wait.
Mine is go ahead.
If there was, I'll speak for me. If there was a name, we would have already been like that. That person would already be this person would already be prepared to be the face of the NBA if it was going to be one. In the 80s, it was Magic and Larry, but they basically saved the NBA. But after Mike's rookie year, they was like, well, we got one right there. And man bypassed Zeke and everybody. Yo, we got one right there. Unfortunate situation that happened with Len Bias. We got Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan scores 37 a game. We got Michael Jordan. We're good. Michael Jordan takes over the late 80s, early 90s. Shaq comes in the 90s. Oh, we got Shaq ass. All right, but there's another person that came in who was prepared to be the face of the NBA in the 2000s because, hey, we like Allen Iverson and we love him and that thing, great hooper, but that's a nigga, all right?
Yeah.
Grant Hill was supposed to be the face of the NBA to take over for Michael Jordan. Charismatic, Kahoot, of course, one of the best players in the game. He was on the TV shows and shit, did the episode with Living Single with the piano trying to fuck on Queen Latifah and shit and everything, and he fucked up his goddamn ankle. And what happened when he messed up his ankle? That's when you was talking about Samantha. 2000s got all of these players. We got Allen Iverson, we got Vince Carter, we got Ray Allen. It's a cornucopia and everything. But eventually the Lakers started winning them titles. Oh, we got Kobe. Damn, Kobe fucked around and got arrested and charged for some bullshit. He got off. We back to having Kobe. Here comes LeBron James. Oh, we got LeBron James in fucking high school. We knew in high school that this man was going to be the face of the NBA, Jack. We knew this shit in high school. So for 20 years, LeBron James has been the face of the NBA. Wrestling reference, ladies and gentlemen. John Cena is LeBron James, and LeBron James 100%. Is John Cena. 100%. We ain't got this Roman Reigns yet, ladies and gentlemen. And John Cena be telling y'all ass, look, my ass want to go act and shit. Right. If it was a face of this fucking organization, my ass wouldn't be here. There's not one. That's why LeBron James is still the face of the NBA.
He's going to forever be the same. I'm going to go with where Alex is going. The Roman Reigns is Wembanyama. Wemby is a Roman Reigns in this.
Go to sleep at 9 o'clock and put his phone on airplane mode, nigga. He like Tim Duncan. I don't give a fuck about this shit.
Hold on, this is why I'm gonna
say he ain't cool enough, nigga.
Yeah.
Shaq was a cool big man.
It's gotta be an American G. It's gotta be.
We are showing American bias here.
No,
it's just like you said. G,
Luka, the face of the NBA should be Luka.
Dog, G. Luka is a dog. Yeah. He just can't be the face of the NBA. Bro.
Luka should be the face of the NBA. Luka don't want to be the face of the NBA.
American white boy.
That nigga was from Indiana.
Oh, they'd be going crazy. They'd be going crazy. Racist. I mean, man, slavery coming back. They'd be going crazy. G.
Matter of fact, what's the little white boy that's in high school? Play in Maine and shit, going to Duke next year.
Cooper Flag.
That's going to be your next face of the NBA, my nigga.
He's going to Duke, by the way.
He going to Duke. Cooper Flag going to mess around to be the next face of the NBA if we don't want an American.
This is why I say
Luka should be the face of the NBA. Luka don't want to be the face of the NBA. Don't nobody want that shit.
Nobody want it. Like I said, nobody wants that shit, man. Give me the money. I want it. Give me the rings and give me the money.
I'm gonna segue into this because it's one of the other topics we got. We're gonna do these last two and then wrap this up in the next 10 minutes. And then me and Bang are gonna do our local hour warm-up as we get ready for the Patreon only local hour. But we talk about faces of the NBA. We talk about who should be, who doesn't want to be. Giannis should probably be the guy too, but it goes to what you were saying, Mike, about has to be an American dude.
Yeah.
Now, did y'all hear what he said? I don't know if it was after. I think it had to be after All-Star game. He said he doesn't watch basketball.
He
like, and I don't know. Giannis, he might have been trolling. Giannis is an elite troller, but he might have been trolling. He said, I don't watch basketball. I don't know who he play. Like, he was going on and on about that. And I don't think he was personally. I personally think he was trolling. I don't think there was a serious bone. In fact, he looked like he couldn't even stop laughing while he was saying it. But I think we have a lot of people took what he said. And not that I feel like your life has to be obsessed with basketball, but there might have to be something that has to do with, the younger guys. Because, even though Giannis has been in the league like a decade, the nigga's only 26. Like he came into the league when he was like 17, 18 years old. So it's a different situation. But do you think that the lack of, you got a guy like Giannis saying on watch basketball that maybe it has to go to the younger athletes saying my life doesn't have to be revolved around that. Maybe that's how the sport is. We've heard people say, about how Michael Jordan obsessed, how Kobe obsessed. I think it was Richard Jefferson said he would be with LeBron and LeBron would be in his sprinter and he's turning on basketball. LeBron watches basketball. These are basketball junkies. Kevin Durant loves basketball, and it doesn't seem like a lot of these kids love basketball. We even had LeBron James and Draymond Green said, y'all would be surprised how many people in the league right now just look at it as a job and they don't love hoops.
Man, my man BC Brian Crawford has been saying this
Proud to BC
for years, and I believe him. Don't nobody in here love this game, man. This is a different time. This ain't even about this ain't even about Instagram and all of this shit. I just think that, again, I think a lot of kids got turned off at the way LeBron James was attacked at that All-Star game, fam.
You keep going back. Do you really think that was the scene of the crime?
I think that was a part. I think that's a big part of it, because people that is a exhibition that people took seriously, and they killed LeBron James for that shit. Kobe, Carmelo Anthony, all looking at this nigga like, man, what the fuck is you doing? Everybody was looking at this man. But LeBron James is a basketball junkie. There's no more that. These niggas, like LeBron James, might as well be the last of a dying breed.
For sure.
Niggas want to go to the club. They want to go kick it. They want to fuck on one of these girls on Instagram. They don't want to be at the crib turning on one of their TVs talking about some shit. Let me go look at TNT when 9 times out of 10, when they go on TNT, they gonna be getting killed by Charles Barkley. These niggas know. You think these niggas really want to watch TV? Look at Zion. You think Zion want to go look at the NBA when niggas is talking about how Stephen A. Smith called them fat? I gotta hear about this fat shit again, my nigga.
So with some of these players, and this is my opinion, like even with the Giannis stuff, like I don't watch basketball things like that. Zion, which I'm a huge Zion fan, and honestly, I think they just think they God-given talent is just gonna get them by. Sooner or later, that God-given talent goes away. Like it does. Like your athleticism, like Zion and Giannis, they I'm not saying they don't look at film and stuff, like they don't study the game, but it's like a Shaq report, like Shaq. Shaq didn't give a fuck because he has no one could stop this man. So that nigga like, why fucking work out? Why watch my weight? It doesn't matter. I'm still dropping 30
up a fucking wall.
Whoa!
And then when people start getting more athletic and just as big as him and stronger, it's like boom. Now you can't do shit no more. It's going to happen. Like people always think you can make it off the athleticism. Like listen, like the God-given talent. Like Kobe had God-given talent, yes. But some of the stuff he had to perfect that shit, practice the shit, watch film and things like that. LeBron honestly had the God-given talent and still perfected the shit and do things like that. Some of them like, listen, I'm finna do this shit. I don't give a fuck. I'm finna go clubbing. I'm finna do this, that, and the third. I'm not finna watch no film. When time comes, when I can't jump no more, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? So, and most of these guys are street ballers anyway. That's why the NBA looks so bad.
Man, it's more...
What's
my man name? What's my man name? It's more Jamarcus Russells in the NBA than y'all niggas think. Mm-hmm. It's more niggas that get the tape and don't look at it and shit and be like, yeah, man, I seen all them motherfucking plays. Like Michael, like all of those players in the 80s and 90s, they wanted to be the face of the NBA. Like they wanted that shit. They wanted the commercials. They wanted the fame. They want that shit. Man, I got 1 million Instagram followers, nigga. I had 1 million Instagram followers in high school. Nigga, I'm the face of my shit.
Sure.
I don't need to be the face of the NBA. Yeah, I don't think Giannis lying.
You lying, bro.
I'm gonna tell you. I don't think Giannis lying. I think Giannis go home, be talking nasty to his wife, and be watching. You know what I think Giannis be doing at the crib, my G?
What be doing?
Watching TV One. I think Giannis be at the crib watching
Giannis be
old
watching Martin reruns and
he
shit.
be watching old reruns
Yeah, G,
of
you can't-
Sanford and Son,
and that's a
Good
bad
Times,
example. Like you said, like if he's
Maud.
coming out saying I don't
Yeah,
watch,
we found out Giannis at the
I don't
crib
watch
watching
NBA
Maud.
games, that's nasty, bro. You got
Nigga, Giannis be looking at TV Land. That motherfucker be looking at old TV shows like, oh, I cannot believe this.
To the fullest. He's trying
He trying to make this nigga.
You
This
seen Good
nigga.
Times? Like, no,
Yeah,
bro,
oh, you seen, you seen Small Wonder? Oh, but this little white girl that was a robot.
You got one of the best players in the league saying, I don't watch basketball.
That's why I think it's a bad look.
Like, that's the thing about it. They don't, like, but also, too, they just don't know how to shut up. Like, like, LeBron never would say that. Kobe would never say that. A nigga like Tracy McGrady would never say, like, people won't say that, but you got Joker saying, man, this is like going to work. Like, punching in the clock. Like, the niggas, everyone said Joker looks like he hates basketball.
That nigga want to be with them horses.
Like, he hates it. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't care. They like, listen, I'm here to punch in my clock and then leave. Get a fat check and leave.
This nigga Giannis be at the crib with his girl like, wait a minute. Did you ever hear about this show called A Different World?
No, shit.
Oh, my God.
Hold on. This Bill Cosby, didn't he go to jail?
Right, exactly. Straight up.
Oh, Lisa Bonnet.
Yo, it's funny.
Also,
like,
also he won a ring, so he like I can say what the fuck.
That's also true.
That's also true. In the smaller market, you say that shit if you play for the Bulls, the Celtics, the Lakers.
Oh, nigga.
Chopped off.
What is Alf?
He said, what is Alf?
Alf? Oh my goodness, growing pains.
I saw his documentary on Amazon Prime this week, and the way he like got Americanized, like, you know, this nigga was losing his mind over a smoothie and a corn dog. Like, so he probably is. He probably is in the crib watching Golden Girls and shit.
Yeah, bro, he got a 50-piece after winning the NBA championship from Chick-fil-A. I still remember the first time I had Chick-fil-A, my G.
Yeah,
still remember it.
Then I realized I can make my own Chick-fil-A and save $20.
Okay.
Yeah. We gonna wrap this up. We going a little overtime, man. But Mike, definitely looking forward to have you back on here, man. Let them know where they can get in tune with you. And, you know, like I know you guys just restocked. Tell about the restock. What new stuff y'all got in Pillars right now?
We got like about 6-7 new jogging outfits. We got some from the kids as well. Got red, black, maroon, all type of stuff like that. Hats. Got shoes. Check out our website, pillarsclub.co. We got stores in Chicago Ridge Mall, Orland Square Mall, which is in Orland Park. We got a sale going on my store at 87 that we're relocating, 2006 East 87th Street. So it's basically 87th and Jeffrey. And then the one in the West Loop, 1167 West Madison Street. So you come in the stores, we actually got a promo code. Check your emails and things like that. Get $20 off when you shop in the store. So yeah, check us out. Follow us on Instagram as well, Pillars_Club.
Pillars_Club. We gonna get that Pillars I'm Not Gonna Hold You promo code going too. So
for
sure. We can
well.
get that going. That's gonna be coming soon as well. Brother Mike, we're gonna holler at you next week, G.
For sure. Love, bro.
Yes, sir. So we're going to do our our local hour warm-up, as we're gonna call it here. If you haven't gotten in tune with the local hour, man, you can subscribe right now. We're on patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network, man. You can sign up for the $5 holler, which is, of course, is the I'm Not Gonna Hold You package. You get all the segments, all the clips. You get I'm Not Gonna Hold You overtime. You get I'm Not Gonna Hold You halftime. If you didn't check out this past Wednesday episode, me and Mikey, we had a good pod up on that. Check that out. You know, if you watch on the YouTube, youtube.com, H&B Media, you get some clips, you know what I'm saying? I put short clips on the YouTube, but if you want the full-length segments, you know, Hot Corner, Weekend in the Association, Can I Get Live with Mike, and, of course, Cousin Dan Fridays. And we got a new segment debuting on Monday, Culture Talk with Larry Legend on Monday. You need to subscribe to the Patreon, man. So let's get into it. As you're going to see on the bottom of the screen, what we're going to be getting to in the local hour on Patreon exclusive. So let's just talk about, get our warm-up, man. So the Bears, man, I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this because y'all was blowing my fucking my Twitter and my actual chat about what David Kaplan said. By the way, shout out to Captain J Hoodie. J Hood will be on the show will be on the program next Friday.
Great job, guys. Keep up the good work.
Big combine week next week. We got Jason Leisure from the Chicago Sun-Times will be joining us on Monday, and then Jay Hood from the Captain J Hood Morning Show will be joining us on Friday, as we're gonna be getting everything up to date what's going on in Indianapolis at the combine. So I'm gonna fill y'all in on why people say that he's my man. First of all, black people say if you know anybody for life, if you ever meet somebody one time, he automatically your man's, and that's pretty much what it is. I understand that, but I had Cap on 79th and Hatlas 2 years ago. I had a good episode, and then every time I ran into Cap multiple times at training camp this past summer in Lake Forest. Cool guy with me, so I know I'm gonna get my Stephen A on.
Doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Get my Stephen A on, man. But I have to say this. I have to. What he said this morning was some bullshit. Like we gotta. I understand, like you said, Bang. Content is king. I get you want to go overboard, but the number one thing I hate seeing over in Bears for the last 24, 48 hours since the whole, not even 24, last week over this is, how did you go in on Mitchell Trubisky for turning off the TVs in 2019? But we don't go in on Justin for unfollowing. First of all, unfollowing somebody on Instagram is not the same as your weak ass training with the team. You tell, I don't want to hear them. Turn that off. That was some of the softest shit I've ever seen in my life. You know the difference between the two. And I actually went off on somebody on Twitter to the fact that my account was locked in 12 hours because I told somebody I was going to smack the shit out of them. And I saw text Bang. I failed you. I do not need to be arguing with niggas with 250 followers. That is my fault. But when he went out there, Cap said that he was a coward for that. It was a cowardly move. That's crossing the line. If there's anything, I understand. If you want Caleb Williams, fine. I think that the overall, there's been cults. There's a Caleb cult. There's a Justin cult. Just say who you want on the court as quarterback your team without the extras, man. It's getting too much. You don't have to call the kid out and call him a coward because he doesn't want to deal with the stress of this. If we're stressed about it and we're fans, and we have no bearing over this doesn't affect us at all. What do you think the nigga who's actually in the middle of this is feel? Of course he doesn't want to see this. There's nothing wrong with this. And Cap is 62 years old. You're not going to understand what a 24-year-old nigga is going through in his mind. I can't understand what a 24-year-old nigga is going through. I'm 11 years older than Justin. So I'm not even part of, of course, I'm part of the social media age, but I lived in a time when niggas didn't have Wi-Fi. I lived at a time where I take the little AOL CDs, nigga, and I couldn't be on the internet if my mama was on the phone. Like I'm part of that era, so I never grew up in the social media era, nigga. When I got an Instagram, I was fucking 23 years old. So it's a different era from they grew up. So if he wants to cancel out the noise about some shit that affects him, we ain't got to call him a coward. I think that's bullshit. Cap knows it was bullshit, and that's why he tried to circle it, run it back, and say, well, I called the act cowardly. Nobody want to hear that shit. It's like what Mikey tweeted. It's like telling your girlfriend, I mean call you a bitch. You was just doing bitch shit. Yeah, let's see if you don't sleep on a couch that night, nigga. It don't work that way. So I understand we trying to get clicks, but Cap, I need you to do better, G. Like I need you to do better.
I'm just gonna speak about it on a radio perspective. Working in radio, being involved in radio for about 15 years now. Damn.
You old, nigga. You old,
yeah.
Nigga.
It was lazy radio. Like what Cap did was lazy radio, right? And I know that we're in a dead time with football and, content and all that stuff, which we're fishing for stuff, and the Bears got the number one pick. But what Cap did was lazy radio. And that's what I didn't like about it. It was nasty, it was lazy, and it was unwarranted. I don't care if you're talking about the act or the kid. To even use the word coward because he unfollowed a team is one of the lamest rants. And I'm not only irritated by Cap, I'm irritated about him, unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty, the other white dude who looked like dude from the WWE. Nigga look like
I know you're talking about.
He look like, I forgot my man's name, but the man that be with Otis. Forgot my man's name real quick. But he looked like dude and Michelle Smallman. Like I was disappointed in them because they turned that unfollow shit into a whole segment because Justin Fields chose LeBron James over Michael Jordan. They was like, oh man, he can't be in Chicago doing that. He's 24 years old. Like, I watch countless sports radio shows do lazy radio by taking this segment right here and making it something. And oh, you can mute. I don't give a fuck what I can do. If I want to remove them, I can just remove them. Because how old is Justin?
24.
You know what Justin is looking at on Instagram, y'all? He removed the Bears, he removed the NFL, and he was looking at women on Instagram. That's why he's not deleting it, because he's removing all of that football shit. But
and he's going on vacation, which you're going to need that on vacation.
Right, he got to do the vacation shit, and he's probably going to be looking at women on Instagram, hitting the like button. So that's what he's doing. Don't tell this man, you're not his social media manager. And the crazy thing about it is, because, and this is me going on a radio rant because I'm very upset. But the one thing that I thought, the main reason why I thought it was very lazy, because none of them probably know how to really utilize their social media accounts in the way that we want them to from a digital perspective. But then you gonna tell this kid what he should have done when you probably barely use your Instagram account other than putting up some photos of you at the ladies' event and with your girls or with your homies and shit. Man, kick rocks, man. That was lazy radio. It was terrible radio. It was cowardly for them to come down on that kid to talk about what he should follow and what he should mute and how he should use your social media accounts. Why don't y'all do this? Why don't y'all, if y'all that well versed in social media, why don't you go to your social media team and your radio stations and tell them how to do their job? And then guess what they gonna do? They gonna laugh at your ass. That's what they gonna do. Because you come to them asking them how to utilize Instagram. Hey, man, how you go live? How you do this shit? What should I do on YouTube? But you gonna tell this kid that. Now, some of that stuff I'm kind of talking from a personal sense. And I apologize, y'all. But Justin, leave that man alone. Cap, that was nasty. That was cowardly. The walk back was even more cowardly.
It was nasty.
Stand on business.
Yeah.
When you say stuff like that, stand on business. This ain't, and the crazy thing is, and some people think it'll be a race thing and all that stuff. I'm not even throwing that out there.
No.
It was cowardly, terrible radio, and I can't wait till we get to a point where we stop doing stuff like this. Stop doing lazy radio.
And this is the last time I'm saying that. You don't feel crazy calling a 24-year-old kid a coward when you're 62? Like, and this is not age shaming them, but come on, dog. Like, these motherfuckers are kids to me, and I'm 35, and I've been around Justin's a cool guy. Like, he's a cool kid. He's 24, and for a 24-year-old dude to handle the shit that he's been handling, he's handling it way better than me. Because I'd have been fined by the league a couple times for shit I wanted to say with the way they be treating this kid and the way this fucking fan. And if you're Caleb Williams, pay attention to this shit. Pay attention to shit, because you're coming here with ungodly hype. If you don't make it, and you said too, Banger, he can have a Trevor Lawrence season like Trevor Lawrence had last year. That'll be the best season in Chicago Bears history for a quarterback. They will kill that kid. So look what they're doing to a dude who gave his all for this franchise, who's put in the shit position. And if we can see this, we had Nick on in the first hour, and the national perception of this is shit. And if they can see that, that's what's going to be for you if you fail.
Here's the ending that we need right here. You trashing Justin for unfollowing the NFL and the Bears. Caleb Williams don't do as good as advertised. Now you're going to be talking about the paint on his fingers. Now you're going to be talking about how he cried during the game, and maybe we should
get real problematic.
It's going to be real. Oh, he was flossing.
He's not Chicago tough. Porsche.
He's not Chicago tough.
Chicago tough. Living fucking Caleb, New Linux and shit.
Yeah, Caleb, watch what you want to know what it's like dealing with Chicago media? Go watch what Cap did. Yeah. And when you have a bad game against the Packers, watch you get trashed like that.
Yep. 100%, man. So We're going to talk more Bears in the local hour, man. We're getting ready to record that now. Of course, if you want to do that, subscribe to the Patreon now. Patreon.com/Barber's Network, man. We got a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about this week. We're going to be talking about, a possible reunion with Justin Fields and Luke Getsy in Vegas. That is shockingly picking up steam as we're hearing that from, a couple guys on the athletic, Vegas athletic guys over there. So that's going to be something we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about, the national perception of the Bears that Nick gave us is not a pretty picture. What can the Bears do to change that? The Bears finally had Shane Waldron and Eric Washington meet the media yesterday. We'll talk about what that looked like. The NFL salary cap is rising. And then we're also going to dive deep a little bit more what I ran it on in the sound off about Jerry Reinsdorf, man. So that is all we've got for y'all today. Big shout out to Nick Hamilton for joining us. Big shout out to Amp from Random Acts Podcast for joining us. Of course, shout out to Mike Pillars, our sponsor. You can get in tune with them, pillarsclub.co. Visit any of their 4-star store locations. You can follow Bang and Edge Bang on all social media platforms. Summer sessions will be back on Wednesday. We're recording on Tuesday. Didn't do it this week. Bang was out of town working, you know what I'm saying? So we back on Tuesday. With that, me, Pat V. Merck, and Bang. And of course, y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott. Follow the Barberchair Network at Barberchair Net on Twitter and Instagram. Follow our great partners, the show that you watch this on, H&B Media. Like, rate, subscribe, leave a comment. Even if you want to say we don't know what the fuck we talking about, all engagements are welcome. Leave in the comments, subscribe, and get in tune with everything we're doing over here. I'm not gonna hold you. Follow H&B Media, H&B Media TV on Twitter, and then H&B Media on Instagram, man. So I'm definitely looking forward to next week. Next week is Combine Week. Jason Leisure from Chicago Sun-Times will be joining us on Monday, and then we will have the one and only Jonathan Hood, who is Cap's co-host. So I'm definitely looking forward to having Jay Hood on the show next Friday for Combine Week, man. So for me and for Bang, we up out of here, yo.